What's up, guys? Let's get after it. It's 9:05. If you're not here, you're late for dinner. Your mom's already mad at you guys. We got some pretty... This is the most... Hold on, let me turn the music down. Here we go. It's the most sexual the conversation is going to get tonight. So hopefully you guys are ready. In an educational way. But yeah, hold on. Where's my... Turn off the image here. Here we go. Hello? Nope, that's not it. Hello? Hello? There we go. What the heck? Had some in the way. There we go. And I need to move the chat. Gosh dang it. Gonna unmute everybody here. Here we go. Starting the show.
See,
what's up, everybody? They can hear you now, so stop talking about.
You had the perfect clickbait title, man. You could have put like, "Let's talk about sex, baby."
I know.
And that could have been your starting song, man.
But I don't want it to get flagged for the music, just
true.
for the music. So stupid flagging of music and stuff like that. They'll probably even flag it just by doing the copy of it. I mean, move the chat because it's in your way. Hold on, let me.
You can put it over me.
I hit it. There we go. So tonight we got some new guests with us.
Oh my god!
Pretty excited. Pretty excited. This should be a pretty intense conversation. It's already getting heated just from talking about some of the stuff there. Mainly because May hates me. That's why she just followed me. By the way, if you guys didn't notice that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
She was talking about it too.
Yeah, I was like, is it bad that I just now followed him?
Okay.
I don't ever I always just see in the DMs when you're live and I'll click on your stream that way through Discord. I don't ever never watch Twitch. I just stream.
Ferris never gonna get affiliate if you don't follow.
True. You need to follow me. You guys need to follow me for the Path to Partnership. That should be in every Path to Partnership. That would help me out immensely. But no. Doesn't work that way. Wish it did. We're also raising money for St. Jude. So if you guys feel like you want to donate and throw some tips that way, feel free to do it. Put exclamation point St. Jude. I should probably turn off the lights when I do the podcast, but whatever. It's just so fun. Something happened, so I don't know what made the lights went off, but yeah. We're talking about some sexual content stuff today, which is a question from one of the viewers that presented to us there.
It's me.
I don't know if we want to continue to kind of talk what we were talking about just before the stream. Did everyone kind of get versed up on that? Do you want to talk about that right away, or is that still going to trigger you? Or do you want to get that done and with now?
Let's talk about that later, please. I don't want to talk about that right now.
All right. We won't hint at that, but it is sexual in nature in a way.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it does pertain to streaming, and I do have a question about it of what people's opinions are for it around your kids and that type of content. So it is going to be full circle, even though we're going to be talking about some stuff that's been going around Twitch lately. With that said, let's go ahead and do some quick intros. Once again, I'm Ferris. I have two girls. And we just recently went to Disney on Ice, so feel free to say your name, how many kids you got, and age range if you feel comfortable, and then something you did with them recently that was fun. So yeah, that's gonna be our intro today. So go ahead, May. Go ahead and show us how boring you are.
Wow. Okay, that's how this is.
I'm just kidding.
May, I have one daughter. She's 9 years old. And we haven't been out to do anything fun lately. We've spent a lot of time at home. So watch anime is probably the most fun thing we've done recently.
Nice. I like that. Go ahead. Is it Habby?
Yeah,
I didn't even. Okay.
Tabby. So, yeah, sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just saying, he's just a fanboy that we invited here. And I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So, my name's Habby or David. I got a 3-year-old little son. Just turned 3 yesterday, actually.
Oh, congrats. Nice.
And I've been told that the 3s are worse than the 2s, so I'm not really looking forward to that. But he's he's a handful, but he's a great kid. I love parenting, but obviously it comes with some challenges. So I don't know if we'll be talking a little bit about that today, but I'm here to share, obviously. So looking forward to that. And something fun. Well, it was his birthday yesterday, so we took him
yeah.
out for a movie. Actually, so his first ever
Nice.
at a theater. So it's pretty
That's
fun.
cool. Yeah, that's a good age to take them too, because then they're at least old enough to kind of get it a little bit. So
Yeah, we try to not have him watch too much TV, but it's hard. You know,
Yeah.
it's hard to like completely eliminate it. So it was a nice treat for him.
What movie did you go see, by the way?
We went to go see I got it, because the theater that we went to,
Uh-huh.
it's not. So here, I don't know if you guys have that in the States, but the theater that we have here, one of the theaters we have here, it actually shows older movies. So movies that are basically not out yet on Blu-ray or DVD, but they're not really in the big theaters.
Cool.
And I'm forgetting the name. I'll tell you in a second. Hold on.
Well, you don't have to say the name of the movie or the theater. Don't say the
No,
theater.
no. The movie. Just give me a second. Hold on.
It's me.
Oh, you don't need to dox yourself.
I'm gonna show up to that theater and wait for you.
Just wait the next time.
Yeah,
I know he's coming back
you're.
soon.
I think you're a little too far for you to come do that, but
Don't test my crazy.
It's true. His name is Killer Steven. So
Yeah.
with 3 daughters too. So he's going to be doing a lot of that once they're older. I mean, no, none of that in a video.
so
game.
it's the movies. I mean, it wasn't that great. It's called Ugly Dolls.
Oh, that's a newer movie that's not even out yet, I thought. So yeah.
No,
Okay.
So,
Seems
yeah,
interesting. Cool. Ugly Dolls. Killer Steven. Go ahead and go for it, buddy.
Killer Steven, horrible introductions. Got 3 daughters. This is one of them. What are they? 7, 3, and 2, basically in there. I don't really do a whole lot with the younger ones. They don't really know what's going on yet. But the oldest one, I pretty much just buy her love. Likes to go to Target.
That was good. Get him hooked on the Target early.
Yep.
All right, Giovanni.
My name is Giovanni. I have an 8-year-old son, and recently we went to. I live in Florida, so there's like lots of tourist destinations where they do field trips. So we went to like one of those, and I chaperoned. So now I officially feel old. Chaperoning my first like field trip. So yeah, that's what we did. It was really fun. I didn't lose them, so it was a good time.
That's good.
Yep.
All right, Andrew.
Beardley Andrew. I have a daughter. She's a year and 4 months now, and we just took her to Disneyland for the first time.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So that was pretty fun.
Still
Nice.
never been to Disneyland or World.
Yeah.
I haven't either.
We're debating on doing that. That's going to be a whole nother. That's going to be like an episode in itself of like tips and tricks for traveling, especially like for
It's
stuff like that.
expensive.
Yeah.
I was just about to say it sucks even more now because now we're kind of waiting till the other 2 are old enough that they can enjoy it, and that just makes the cost like.
Even more.
Well, it's even worse for me because I'm in Canada, so
No.
our dollar is like pathetic. So
Well, they're also supposed to have like this new Marvel world or something like that too. That's like the other thing.
And Star Wars.
Don't they have a,
And
don't they have a
Star
Toy
Wars, yeah.
Story section or something?
I don't know. Well, they used to have like Toontown back. I don't know if that's
Well,
still a thing.
they still have Toontown, and then they have like Pixar Pier.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So one of the first things I want to kind of cover, kind of leads into it though, was we were talking about measles and stuff like that last time, but I keep seeing people post stuff on Facebook. And do you feel that like we're in a time where we have a lot of access to information? Are we too informed? Or are we misinformed? Is there a lot of misinformation out there? And are toxic? Is anyone on Facebook by chance here? Because if not, then it doesn't matter. Okay.
I am.
Any part of mom groups, are those like catty or are they terrible? Or what's your experience with them?
So I used to be in a mom group, and it was constant like, just I don't even. It's like, it's okay to worry about your kids. That's your job. You're a parent, but like, it's not your job to scare other parents. Okay, you don't need to make them afraid for their child's life over a cough.
It's like WebMD. My toe
Yeah,
hurts.
it's literally
You're
like
dying.
WebMD in a group full of parents who are supposed to be experienced.
I stubbed my toe. Now I got cancer.
Yeah. It's also really it is catty, and it's very like there's a lot of drama, but I don't know if that's common in dads. It's really common in moms.
I agree.
They're
Maybe
like,
it's time I
oh,
get
she
back to
gave her
Facebook.
kid chocolate pudding
Make a
at
fake
8 p.m. She's a bad mom. It's just stupid stuff like that.
There you go. Forgot
Got a new
Dennis.
person.
Yeah, forgot Dennis.
We're
I thought we
growing.
had a 7th.
Yeah. There's
Hi.
Dennis.
Like,
Yo.
There's Dennis. I used to work with him.
oh man.
Oh man.
Docs.
Yeah. So we just started off with intros. We were saying how many kids you have, ages, and then what fun thing that you did recently with them. If you
You
want
guys do fun stuff with your kids?
to. Okay. Obviously, it's not a
I
question
mean-
for. I did that question because you weren't here, but obviously you can just skip that last part.
Well, I guess I'm taking the kids to see Avengers tomorrow. So that's future fun. But I've got 3 kids. For those that don't know, there's one about to be 8, one that just turned 5, and then there's a 5-month-old. And yeah, that's life.
Yeah.
Good
No.
times.
That's Dennis, everybody. He's the resident negative Nancy. If anything else goes wrong.
What?
I'm just kidding. We were talking about how like Facebook group posts and stuff like that. Are they good? Are they bad? Or they tend to stir up more controversy than is needed. Is what
Are we
Oh, the-
touching? Are we also touching on like vaccinations, or is that something you guys
yeah,
talked
because
about? On another one?
Facebook was starting to pull a lot
Do you
of
even
posts
vax,
that
bro?
were
Do you even vax, bro?
The meme from 2 weeks ago is gonna die. I hope so. So hopefully.
Never.
I don't know what the facts are regarding vaccination, right? I don't know what's true and what's not true. All I
least-
know is that if you're more scared of autism than measles, then you need to get your priorities straight.
Wait.
That's
So you
that's fair.
Yeah, I can see that.
okay?
It just
Yes.
it doesn't make any sense to me why autism is something that people are so afraid of.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But like you're not scared of measles and chicken pox and what are the other ones? There's so many of them.
Polio.
Polio,
Polio, exactly. Like,
Yeah,
why
that
would you
polio.
want to risk your child's life? Autism isn't gonna. I'm sorry. I'm a very passionate, outspoken. I'm gonna stop talking now.
I smoked weed one time and got
That's
out.
why we have you here, man.
Yeah, keep talking. It's fine.
I'm doing better now.
We'll cut
We
you
usually
off,
just
we'll
sit
yell at
around
you.
and not say anything. So it's
No,
welcome.
it's not. You guys are idiots. Ash is in the chat. She also said like part of the amount of moms refusing to give their kids dairy and giving them almond milk instead is flabbergasting. Sorry, mom shame moment, which I think is kind of funny. I think a lot of times I don't know. I'm not in a mom group or anything like that on Facebook, but I hear little things here and there that they complain about and stuff like that from Holly.
You can literally like parent shame about anything. There are so many different opinions out there that like the only opinion I have when it comes to parent shaming is like I shame the parent shamers, right? Like
Yeah.
unless you are hurting your child or their ability to learn or their ability to grow and flourish as their own person, unless you're doing those things, then I've got no beef with you. But if you want to be mad at one mom because she like Ash said, if you want to be mad at one mom because she gives her kid dairy, and then you want to get on Facebook and blast her and make her out to be this horrible person because of dairy, like
A Jezebel.
you're the bad person here, not the person
Yeah.
giving her kid dairy.
Well, it's like the same people doing the vegan thing, forcing their kids to go vegan, and like that's not helpful either, too. But yeah,
My daughter's father is a vegetarian and his girlfriend is a vegetarian, and they tried to push that on her, and I came this close to snapping on him. I was like, you're gonna feed my kid a nutritional balanced diet, or you're like, I'm gonna be there the whole weekend. Like, you can see her, but I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna
might hurt him.
yeah. Those pills are supplements that'll help. Those are good. Pills
No.
are good.
No.
Sorry, I'm not making fun of vegetarians, but I am.
I will. I make fun of myself for vaping. Why wouldn't I make fun of vegetarians?
I know.
Look, I've got no quarrels with vegetarians. Like I said, just don't push it on kids. Like,
It's almost like a religion. Vegetarian and veganism is pretty much like a religion. And there's some of them that like to push it on you, and there's others that are just like, I'm just doing my thing. I'm just chilling.
Like the new CrossFit. Although I usually say people that read or read the Game of Thrones books are the new CrossFitters. I've never met someone who didn't start with, well, yeah, I read the books.
Yeah.
I haven't read the books. I've only watched the show.
Same. Fuck reading the books. The show's better.
Same.
The show's
You
also
haven't-
farther along, right? Like it's
I
ahead
think
of the
so,
book.
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the show or read the books, and I hate Facebook and don't have it. So
All right, parent shaming.
that's where I
time.
stand on all of those things.
Yeah. Parent shame because he took his kid to go see Deadpool 2 and he's 4. No.
No, it was Deadpool. It was Deadpool 1. Deadpool 2, I've got no shame for. There's no sex scenes in Deadpool 2.
True.
I'm getting you guys off topic.
I know. So like with Facebook, stuff like that, because they are also counteracting and getting rid of like the anti-vax posts and stuff like that. So I thought it was kind of interesting because there was another friend who posted stuff on there and then kind of blasting them, and they said, "Oh, measles doesn't kill people." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And so just like the misinformation continues to go on.
I did have measles as a child. I survived, but
Yeah.
I remember the experience. I was literally like bedridden for a whole week.
Yeah,
I couldn't do anything.
it explains so much more now, knowing that you survived.
Yeah, and now you vape.
Now you vape too.
Hold
Seeing
on.
the light.
Hold
Can
on.
it
Are we
actually-
shaming vape?
Can it actually be deadly though, or not?
No vape
Measles?
shaming.
Measles
Or the vape.
or the vape?
What?
If you drive a Subaru,
Yeah.
No. I drive a Ford Focus.
hell yeah.
It's
Ford
old.
Life.
It's old too. It's really old. I've had it since frick.
Oh man.
Oh, am I allowed to cuss, by the way? Or is that a no-no?
Are you
can
what?
Fuck
cuss.
yes.
I've done a really good job at censoring myself so far, but I just wanted to make sure that if I have a slip up, I'm not going to get chastised for it. I'm not good at getting in trouble. I don't.
As long as
don't
I'm
I will parent shame you on Facebook.
yeah.
Yeah, when this video hits Facebook, you're gonna get.
No, I'm taking it to Reddit.
This parent
No,
wants to tell me
no.
how to do. They say shit. They're
My only
bad.
thoughts on Facebook are that Facebook in general is toxic as fuck. And that's
Yeah.
why I don't use Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
It's also, it's like, I feel like it's more for older people now. I don't think the newer generation really uses it as much. It's
Well, I
more
often
Twitter
say
and
it's for
Instagram. now.
boomers and R words. There's just not, I don't know, not too many people I like on Facebook
Papegas.
nowadays.
Papegas. Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you
Well,
call
my
it?
family,
Papegas.
Papegas, my family uses it. Like my mom uses Facebook, my grandmother uses Facebook, and they're all like really old.
Yeah, your mom, your grandma, that weird kid
aunt.
from high school that nobody really liked but accepted his friend request, and now you got to
Yeah.
read his hot takes about whatever, and you're like, why am I here?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wait, bounce.
All right, sorry, we
Like-
got off topic again.
Isn't that
bring
just
on.
like the normal like lifespan of something? Like as soon as like parents and grandparents start liking it, then it's time to move on. But I just feel like there's people that haven't moved on. Like there's certain words and stuff like that. Like the first time I heard my mom say something was the bomb, I was like, well, that's gone.
Yeah.
I can't say that anymore. That's like absolutely
she
not.
She said woke the other day. No.
Yeah.
Why aren't you on Facebook anymore?
was
This
it.
place is lit. Log out.
Yep, that's it. Got to find something else.
Yeah, my mom put a post the other day. She said, "I'm woke," and I'm like, "I'm done."
You're woke. Well, good morning.
I legit got so mad at my mom one time. I did delete her off of my Facebook. Did do that.
What?
I've done that. I blocked my
So-
parents.
Heck yeah,
Mm,
Do any of
I
you
don't
guys use
care enough
Twitter?
to do that.
I do.
I use Twitter.
but
Twitter
not
is
just-
Twitter, but I
Twitter
don't
can be
use it.
super toxic.
It can be.
Like when there's
Yeah.
back and forth arguing. Oh man,
Dude.
it's really bad.
Yes.
That's when I grab my trail mix. I'm like,
Yes, I watch it. I watch the fire grow and grow and grow, and I'm like, this is hilarious, but it's also like, I would never do that because it's not a behavior that like I'm keen on. But I love watching it.
If you
No,
guys-
but it never happens that you see something that really, really bothers you and you just want to comment on it. That's never happened before.
No, it
I
has,
can't
but I stay
anymore.
out of it. I stay
can't
out of it.
anymore.
Okay.
Got that all out of my system on Facebook.
Yeah.
If I commented on something like that, it's just gonna bring people to my account and then like invite them to say stuff on mine, and it just that's not what I want.
If
I just
that
I
would
literally
work,
just
I would
watch.
do it. Like, come
It-
argue with me on my stream, not Twitter.
Yeah. I don't mean like my stream. I just mean like people would start commenting on my tweets and stuff. I've had a lot of recent drama surrounding me, and people are already on high alert. There's a whole May hate squad going
Got a
around.
mom sighting on Happy's.
What?
There's an
couldn't
angry
hear you.
mom post on May on Facebook right now.
No. It's not moms. It's
It's
just it's
It's a
Twitch
bounty.
goons.
There's a bounty on her. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I can't do it on Twitter as much anymore. What is funny though, if you do, there's a guy named Lord Kirk on Twitch who does like some of the podcasts with Raj and stuff like that. He he says he always says something on Trump's tweets, and just seeing just people react to him, and all he says is like "Good job, Mr. President" or something like that. And it's kind of smart to grow your social media if you want to do something like you just post something with or against Trump, whichever crowd you want to do, and then you'll get a bunch of people following you or liking or fighting with you, which is really funny. And you say nothing relevant to it, which I think is
Happy
what's funny.
tried
on
to
Twitter.
talk a couple times. His mic's muted. I haven't been able to hear you.
Who?
Sorry
Andrew?
about that.
Oh, there you
Abby.
go. Yeah,
Oh,
I
there
got
you
you.
go.
No, I was just gonna say like there's some good to Twitter also. I
Yeah.
mean, you get a lot of news through it. So it's just, there's some
News.
news. I think you could say that about anything. Instagram's the same too, right?
There's definitely a dark and a light side to all
Well,
of
that's
that.
why I like Instagram so much. Is there's less news, less politics, less. It's just people sharing the things they love, and I really enjoy that. Compared to other social media, like Reddit, Facebook, and Twitter, it's like people go there to fight with each other. People go to Instagram to show how much better they are than you, and it's like, while that can be kind of toxic, I prefer people promote what they love instead of bashing what they hate. And there's the different dynamic there, at least for me on Instagram.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, best president ever. That's what he puts on there. Yeah.
I do follow Trump on Instagram.
So funny.
So, you said Facebook is like they're removing the anti-vax stuff.
Yeah, they've been trying to and whatnot since there's the study that came out saying that there is no link of autism and the vaccines. So,
Okay.
So there was stuff that came out there. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there's this outbreak of stuff, and it's kind of funny. Like, there's an article saying, "Oh, if you went to the Avengers, you were just exposed to the measles." I'm like, gosh dang it, freaking idiots! I'm like, most of it, I think, is there's a big outbreak in New York, but I think last year there was only like 640 cases all of last year, and we're already at like 700 cases.
Oh shit.
There's just cases of that's not deaths, just cases of measles. So I don't know if there have been any casualties of it, but that's a big deal because back in like 2010 there was as little as 50 cases.
Yeah.
So
it's growing every
So-
year.
So, like, since they took away
bit,
their
yeah.
case that autism isn't caused by vaccinations, what is their argument even?
So
At this
one of the big ones that they try to say is that they use mercury in the vaccinations.
Mhm.
And first of all, it hasn't been part of any of the vaccines since 2003.
Okay.
Secondly, it's not just straight mercury. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're just injecting it full of
Laced
mercury,
with
you know?
LSD.
Right. That's not how it is at all. It's in combination with other things. And I think I brought this up last time too, like hydrogen by itself, big boom, big explosion, all that bad stuff. Like the sun is made up of hydrogen. Mix it with a little oxygen, you got some water. It's a little bit more tame. Water, not that flammable, again, unless you're in Flint. But that's the type of situation. So as soon as they see the ingredient mercury, they freak out. But it's not just mercury by itself. There'd be no reason to put that in there.
Mhm.
And, I mean, there's mercury in shrimp. and iodine and things like that. I mean, it
I
just
don't eat shrimp.
I was just researching the different ways that we as a human race get exposed to mercury. And there's literally so many other ways to come across it. Like,
and also, like I said, don't take away from the fact that they haven't used that substance since 2003.
I think another one I've heard mentioned is like formaldehyde or something. But I read somewhere like the numbers like similar to like a pear or something. Like a pear can have some similar ingredient or something. I don't remember.
I think we're all effed anyways, right? Because you guys remember the old cell phones? We used to get like the ghost buzz in our leg where we used to ghost vibrate. We're probably exposed to too much shit. We're all going to die like
I
cancer.
thought that was my other leg.
but the things that we're being exposed to now, doesn't that contribute to like the evolution of the human race or whatever? Like we become we're not evolving into a different species, but like kind of like how people adapt to the like regions that they live in. Like people in the snow are better in the snow.
I gotta go change a diaper. I'll be right back.
Oh joy. People who live in the heat are better adapted for the heat. Like, are we not as a species adapting to all the things that we're being exposed to?
No, because we have air conditioning now, so that doesn't matter. Like, as far
Well, I'm not
as,
talking about the weather. I'm talking about like the chemicals and the like, though that aspect, like people complaining about like the different things that. I'm losing my words. I'm sorry.
It's all good.
That's like saying like the gallbladder does nothing for the system, your system anymore, because of all the crap that we eat. You know, whether you're vegan, or not, it's like all the stuff you're putting into your body. Like your gallbladder was only useful like 40 years ago or something like that.
Isn't that why you can have it removed? Can't you have your gallbladder removed?
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally everybody in my family but me has had theirs removed.
Yeah. So like the preservatives and stuff in our food, right?
Yeah.
Right.
We haven't all
processed food.
those, but like we eat them now, and are we not adapting?
No, we're dying sooner.
We're dying sooner.
Well, I think
really?
I don't know. I think as far as like from the diet thing, that can go to a whole different thing, because the factory farming and the processed foods and everything else there, like they used to eat crazy amounts of steak, or they used to eat like meat fresh, like kill it, butcher it, and all that stuff, but not like a huge amount of heart disease and stuff like that. I think it's a mix of like chemicals that are using that is like we're becoming our own worst enemy, because we don't really have to struggle or fight and do this sort of stuff anymore. We have convenient ways of doing this, and the cost of the convenience is in some cases probably our health or whatever else, I think.
Well, life expectancy then was like 50.
Exactly. I was just about to say that.
Our life expectancy is longer,
I'm an
but
idiot.
somebody told me last night, and then like a couple of nights before last night, the life expectancy in the U.S. has gone down in the last few years.
In the
Right,
last
but it's
few
just
years,
like a year or two, but that's just because McDonald's is delicious. I mean, I bet it would go. I bet it would go down even farther if like Chick-fil-A opened up on Sundays. Like I believe that there's a direct correlation, because I know that's where I would be. That's the one day a week where I really crave it. You're just watching football and you're just like, man, nuggets.
Not just that, but there's a lot of people that eat really healthy. I know somebody personally that she's okay now, but she had cancer and she really, really took care of herself. So, I mean, yeah, if you eat junk food and processed food, you're probably at a higher risk of dying early, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. So
yeah, there are like really old ladies who drink and smoke every day who swear that's the secret to their long lives.
And there's people that don't smoke that die of lung cancer.
Yeah.
Go figure.
My grandmother was a heavy smoker. She smoked 2 packs a day every day the entire time that I knew her, and she didn't die from lung cancer. She died from medication.
Motorcycle accident, and she's 95. No,
she wasn't that old. She was in like late 50s.
Oh man, this one I want to kind of get into here. It's probably gonna take up a bulk of our thing here, because I think it's something pretty interesting. This is a question I actually got on stream. I posted in the chat there, and it sparked some stuff in the group chat here. The question was, I have a daughter who is 13. She turns 14 next month. She got suspended for 1 week for having condoms in her purse during a drug search. The dog picked up on her purse. Do you think I'm in the wrong, or is the school in the wrong for not allowing children to carry protection? Found out some other background stuff was that it's not a private school, because I was thinking if it's a private school, then religion and beliefs would probably play in a factor, and that would
So it's a
make
public
sense.
school?
Public school. And it was also a drug search, which I thought was also interesting, because I'm like going, well, why can you bust them for this if it's not there? But apparently they said that they're what was it? They said that it was part of their rules and guidelines or something like that, that it did violate having that sort of thing.
Why did they
Did you
have that
find
as
out
a
where?
rule?
Did you find out where?
I didn't get the state of where it was.
Is it a high school or like a middle school? Like 13 or 14, you said, right?
I think that's middle.
Yeah,
Middle
that's middle
school.
school.
It's probably gonna be
Yeah.
middle school, but like it depends. And even then, I mean, there's because there is a couple different variables, but it kind of brings up the question though of sex education.
Yeah.
I think almost everyone here thinks that the school was in the wrong for
Yes.
suspending for a week, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks,
Anyone
There's
else
that,
think
like-
that?
For multiple reasons.
Yeah.
They should start. So I took my daughter to the doctor last year before she turned 9. She was 8 years old, and she started going through puberty very early.
Yeah.
She was exhibiting signs of puberty at 8 years old, which is common in my family. But now, as a nation, our like age for puberty in women is a lot earlier. I don't know about boys,
The
but
milk.
like for girls, it's like the average now is from 9 to 11 years old is when girls start their period. So they should be teaching sex education at those ages. And the fact that the school is making condoms a contraband is actually the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Mhm.
Like, why would you ever discipline a child for being safe? Would you
Mhm.
rather them get pregnant and then have to drop out of school? Like, I don't understand why as an educational system, like, it's just so mind-boggling. It actually makes me mad. My blood is boiling thinking about it because it's so stupid.
Well, now she has a week to use the condom because she doesn't have school. So,
Oh my god.
just
Guys,
kidding.
just if I can ask a question, because I'm in Canada and it's different here.
Mhm.
You guys in elementary school, or what level is it that sex ed starts?
Middle school.
Middle school.
It depends on the state.
Okay.
100%.
I
Okay.
remember
Because-
there was like a small one in 4th grade, and I
Yeah.
thought
We
that
had
was really young.
we had ours in 5th grade.
Because
Yeah.
here
I don't
it's in
remember.
elementary school, and part of it is to promote safe sex. They talk about it, right? So they're talking about it, and then at the same time, and I know this didn't happen here, but I'm just trying to understand the mentality of it. So if they teach that in middle school, why are they suspending for somebody who has a condom? I don't understand the logic.
Exactly.
Well,
Doesn't
especially
make
because it
sense.
was like a drug search too. So I think they did state that they are in talks with a lawyer. They had some other stuff. So like
Good.
thoughts and prayers with them because
Absolutely.
the dad like survived a heart attack or something like that also during that same week. So
Oh,
probably
shit.
because he found out that his daughter. No, I'm just kidding. But the serious side though, like the fact that
I
they
thought you were
dealing
serious.
with that. No, that he did survive a heart attack. She did say he's doing fine, but it's like. The priority to get this going forward, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear about this in the news like in a month or two. We broke it here first, folks. No, I'm just kidding. But I think it's interesting because it spawned a bunch of other topics that we end up talking about too. Because in California they're really open with their sex ed stuff like that. Texas, they just reformed it.
It's not everywhere though.
But it's not everywhere. And
Yeah.
I guess in Austin, mainly it makes sense in Austin because it's very blue in Austin.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that exact thing of what they're doing. But yeah, like Texas for the longest time has been an abstinence only to
Uh-huh.
where you're not allowed to do condoms, you're not allowed to talk about condoms, you're not allowed to talk about anything but abstinence.
Yeah.
And that was put into policy by George W. when he was the governor here.
Yeah. Well, the thing that also sucks
Oh.
too is like the
Like
mindset
growing
of
up in
like,
Dallas, we learned about condoms early on in high school. It's probably like my freshman year, I think. I don't know. It might have been middle school. I don't remember. It's kind of like instead of joking, half joking in the group chat there. If I knew shit about condoms, I wouldn't be on this show right now.
Oh, okay. So
True. No.
I found the thing that Austin is doing. So in third grade, it starts.
Third
And-
grade.
Well, yeah, but hold on, hear it out. It gets progressively. All they do in third grade is identify male and female external reproductive anatomy.
Well, that's not
identify-
right. There's more than two.
Well, they identify trusted adults. Baby
We're gonna go with
steps, baby
biological
steps.
sex, and then genders. We're gonna go with this separate thing for right now.
Just trying to be inclusive. Sorry.
That's fourth grade.
So no, actually, I think it's seventh grade, but
that-
we're getting
that-
there.
Well, that Snapchat filter has me hella confused as of today.
Oh
I don't know if
my
you guys see
God.
that,
Fourth grade is when they. Fourth grade's when they learn
Sorry.
about their functions of the parts, and to how to talk to adults about abuse. Demonstrate refusal and no statements. Fifth grade, describe medically male and female parts, define sexual orientation and romantic attraction, and define sexual harassment. Sixth grade is when you differentiate between and explain expressions of gender. Communicate respectfully about gender identities and orientations. Blah, 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 blah. Talk about STDs and HIV, good touches, bad touches, define intercourse and all that. Seventh grade is when we start talking about benefits, risks, effectiveness of contraception, healthy pregnancy practices, all that good stuff. And then eighth grade is when they actually do it in front of the classroom as a demonstration. No, I'm just playing. That'd be nuts.
No, but he's-
But
shit.
they just bring in a porno and they're like, "Hey, everybody, just watch this. It's gonna be way better."
It's so
Oh,
crazy.
But,
I remember in 7th grade in the state of Alabama, they gave us a generalized course of the female and male anatomy, and then they separated us to talk about how puberty happens in the genders, because obviously the boys didn't need to know about women and their periods, and the girls didn't need to know about men and their boners, like, which is stupid, by the way. I think the courses should be for both girls and boys. I don't think they should separate them, but that's just the way they did it in Alabama. I don't know if they've changed it or not, because my kid's not old enough yet. They don't start teaching until middle school, and it's literally like 7th and 8th grade.
For those that have kids that are like able to communicate and talk, do they know like what their parts are? Like, do they call it a vagina, and they call it, like, they know that a male has a penis, stuff like that?
Naughty area. They don't call it
My,
like
my
official,
oldest
just
knows
naughty
her
area.
part.
My
that's just
kid
no fun.
doesn't. So I've had talks with her, but she doesn't call it those things.
Uh-huh.
I've had to tell her very recently. She told me before school, like a week ago, she was like, my stomach hurts really bad, and I was like, well, you're probably going to start your period today, so just be prepared for that. Like, I've had to talk with her numerous times, so she knows what to expect. But anytime she tells me that her stomach hurts, I'm like, just be prepared. Don't cry. You're not dying. I promise.
That's gonna be awkward for me to tell.
South
the
Park
girls.
line that bleeds for 7 days and doesn't die.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how true this is, because I need to get more information on this. Allegedly, I heard that if a child doesn't know the parts that were like abused or and something like that, and they just call it like their hoo-ha or some nickname, then they can't prove that they were touched or molested based on like her testimony and stuff like that.
They don't hold up the doll anymore and be like,
That's
I guess
bullshit.
not.
"Point
I
on
don't
the
know if
doll."
that's true. I don't know if that's true.
I don't think that's true. I
That
think if
was
a
the
child
reason why
says they
we-
were sexually molested, then they were
But
sexually.
if they don't know the
What?
names, like he touched my private area, like I don't know if that stands up. I don't know. That's the
Did you
reason
read
why
about it
I
on
was. That's
Facebook?
the reason why I was fearful. I'm like, she knows what the parts are at age 4. So I mean, like taking the sexual education part, like at age 4.
Yeah, my
just
daughter
makes sense.
yells all the time, like if something's going on, "Daddy, Mommy, my vagina hurts."
That's actually mind-boggling that even like the rumor of that exists. Like,
Yeah.
you're telling me that because a child doesn't specify that their penis or their vagina was touched by someone who wasn't supposed to touch it, like if they say their no square or their hoo-ha, like it's dismissed in court, I don't believe that. Not for a second.
No, square. That's the best ever.
Like, what? I'm sorry. There are a lot of words for it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I remember like in elementary school, they were telling us like like only doctors and your parents can touch you here, here, and here. Like, you know.
Yeah, I have a link right here. I found it right here. It's also HuffPost, so fuck them. But either way, the number one reason says, here's 8 very important reasons why you should. It says, if a child is touched inappropriately, the child can tell a trusted adult on the safety network accurately, i.e., so-and-so touched me on my penis. This is a lot more weight if the child's accusations were to go to court. So, yeah. So, for example, if the parents, let's see. If a child says to a parent teacher, for example, blank touched my cookie, this may be discounted if the child says blank touched my vagina.
So they're not arguing it necessarily from like a legal standpoint, but if they were to go to like a teacher or school administrator and say that they might not realize that they were meaning their genitals and might think that it was something else. Is that what you're saying?
But I mean, it says here though, it says this has a lot more weight if the child's accusations were to go to court. So it's not like the child is being like, if they were to call it a cookie, that would be very confusing. Like, okay, well, is she saying a cookie or is she saying this? So like it would be a very unfortunate thing that a defense lawyer or anything like that would probably run with that and say, look, you can't admit this because she obviously doesn't know the difference between cookie and vagina. So that's what I'm saying. Time, like, has more weight, is what it's saying.
I see what you mean.
But the baby can touch you, like, you touch my cookie. You know, if I'm going to teach my kid, like, hey, this is your no-no, I'm going to make sure she's touching her, you know, her no-no. Like,
well, that's why I wonder, because that sounds like it could be after the fact, you know, and they're actually in a courtroom or they're actually talking to an attorney and saying, no, you know, it's here, you know, not my cookie here. You know, and they're like, oh, that cookie. That's what I was asking, like, if it's the initial complaint, and I could understand it might not get taken with the same amount of weight. Yeah. You know, if someone's saying, oh, their cookie. Okay, well, I get that. You're a kid. Somebody stole your cookie. You're mad about it, and not realizing that they're talking about it, you know, in a sexual manner. But I don't know. I haven't seen the article.
But then the other thing, too, I can link it for you guys in the thing. But the other thing it says, too, on here, it says, if your child starts to use pet names, you might question where they're hearing those. As a family uses the incorrect anatomical terms, this may be a red flag of grooming and abuse. So that's also another thing to kind of be wary of. That's actually a good tip right there.
We're growing up, they called it like a tootie and a toddy. Like boys had a tootie, girls had a toddy.
That's what I used growing up. I don't really have what?
Those same words?
Tutu? No, not for both. I never really referred to the male anatomy because that was hush hush. But the female anatomy, we called it a tutu growing up. And like, I've never given a specific word for it for my kid other than vagina. Like, she knows what she has. I've told her what it is, but she doesn't really talk about it. So I don't know what word she uses.
It's kind of important. Kind of important to know. Just saying.
Just point at it. What is that?
What are those?
So yeah, I think
we're not arguing about the statistics between a jury and
the
court. We're talking about. I'm just referring to Cost in the chat, who's saying that we don't understand how law works. Like, we're not arguing about law. We're arguing about pedophiles getting away with their crime because of a term that's used in court.
And it's just saying that it doesn't say that they would or wouldn't get away with it. It just says it has more weight if you can clearly specify. Because, I mean, that's confusing, right? If someone doesn't call it a cookie and they're saying they touched my cookie, like, well, someone else may hear that and say it is a teacher. They're like, okay, well, so-and-so touched your cookie. Tell them not to touch it anymore. Like, then they think it's an actual cookie when it's really their vagina, stuff like that. So, like, in different contexts, that can mean way more to either stop abuse, potential abuse, or to, you know, get all that stuff there. But it's pretty intense.
Well, it could almost sound more genuine than like a 4-year-old kid coming in the courtroom and saying, he touched my penis. You know, it almost sounds coached. He's like, he touched my private.
I think
you know what I mean?
If so, we're saying that this has made it to the court, right? And we're talking about the gravity of the terminology. That's what we're discussing. I think that if it's in the courtroom, like, they talk about what the person's being charged with. So it doesn't matter how the kid describes it because they know what he's being accused of, or her, him or her. The person that's on trial, they know the crime that they're they're getting judged for. So the terminology that the kid uses is like, for me, it wouldn't matter what they call it because we know what they're being accused of already.
Right.
Yeah, same.
I'm just saying it's a good practice to have in
No, you're
a
right.
worst case scenario. Like it's
Yeah.
and there's no I'm not saying like, oh, if they don't use this, the person's going to get away with it either. It even says that it just says it has more weight because they're accurately able to do this. The other thing says if the child says to the perpetrator, "Stop, don't touch my vagina," the potential abuser knows that this child is empowered with body safety knowledge. This means the child is less likely to also be targeted. It says also pedophiles will be wary of the child who uses the correct names for genitals because these are adult terms, and if the child does tell, adults will not easily dismiss the touch as harmless fun. So
Yeah.
it's a pretty interesting tips like to kind of add the sex ed to this, and yes, it's a very difficult thing to talk about, but if you don't talk about this stuff and you don't have this, it's leaving a potential risk, in my opinion, that I don't want to take. And like I said, I'm not saying like if you have nicknames for parts like this, that's fine. I would just encourage them to know what the real terminology is where I was coming from with it.
I can agree with that.
Makes
Them
sense.
knowing that they can use whatever word they want for it when they're talking to their friends or like discussing it with other people, but like knowing exactly what it's called is important. I think it's important for more than just a legal standpoint and a safety standpoint, though. I think it's important for an educational standpoint. Like they need to know their body parts.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
It's definitely hard to make a case against it. Knowing the correct part.
Right. That's
There's
the
no
main
harm
thing,
in it.
No, there's no harm in knowing what their correct part is, because I mean, you don't want to be 37 years old going to your doctor is like, hey, I need to check up on my cookie.
You want to be 35-year-old woman on Facebook talking about your penis.
Put that in mom's group Facebook, bitches. No, I'm just kidding.
Why do you just have holes for their arms? Why not holes for their legs too, Pime? Is everybody just hopping around until they graduate? You're just potato racing everywhere?
You wouldn't need condoms if there were no leg holes.
True. Very true.
Okay, but I don't want to hop everywhere.
Get him the special
Imagine
underwear.
what your abs would look like if you hopped everywhere. For like
I have to hop
18
around
years
and look
of your life.
unattractive, 200 IQ. But if that was the standard, he wouldn't be unattractive.
That's true.
Something that they did do
200
up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, at least up in the northern part where I lived for a long time, rather than reform sexual education and get sexual education more discussed and hand out condoms and those types of things, there was such a high amount of teen pregnancy and repeat teen pregnancy. Texas is the highest in the nation for repeat teen pregnancy.
Wow.
They just started making ninth grade schools. And so I had to go to my middle school was converted into a ninth grade school so that the ninth graders are there and you don't get to go to the real high school until 10th grade. And that's basically the whole school district, several of them now where I was. And I'm just like, yes, on one hand, teen pregnancy did go down when they introduced the ninth grade schools. But on the other hand, like, give the kids condoms, or at least, talk about them in school. And I feel like, that might have an even better effect. But yeah, ninth grade schools, that's a big fun thing going on.
For Ferris, I know you have an older daughter. I've already forgotten the ages of everyone else's children. But so this kind of derails a little bit. Do you think that it's a good or a bad idea to start your daughter on birth control when she has her period, like when she first starts? Do you think it's like pushing her in this direction to where like, go have sex, you're on birth control, you can't get pregnant? Or do you think it's just a precaution and like, how do you feel about it?
For acne only.
Yeah, I do know that there are some benefits of doing that to help control that or make that a little bit better. So I would have to hopefully trust her in knowing where she would be at with that, and unfortunately kind of like partner with mom to kind of know a little bit more. I'd have to probably default a little bit to that. I couldn't personally
100%.
make that decision and be like, hey, no, like, because obviously my mind is like, would think, no, you're going to just try and do whatever. But that's kind of.
I can't leave it up to my wife. She got pregnant 3 times.
Well, so
Can't be trusted.
That girl fertile as hell.
the,
Clip it and ship it, boys.
the reason why I ask is because I am so close to my daughter starting her period. Like
Yeah.
we're literally, I expect it to happen sometime
Oh my goodness.
during this summer. And I do want to get her on birth control, and she is very young, and I don't necessarily feel like it's encouraging her to go out and be active, but like if there is an argument against it, I would like to hear it.
I think if like, because there is benefits to going on birth control. Isn't like a more like stable cycle, like
Yeah.
So as long as you're teaching like it's not like, oh, you can have sex and not get pregnant. No, as long as you're teaching the other pros to birth control, then I don't see an issue with it.
I
But
got
like,
pregnant
That's
at
the
a
thing.
very
Pretend it's for something else.
I mean, you guys don't know this. I'm 25 years old and my daughter is 9. She's going to be 10 this year and I'm going to be 26. I had her when I was 15 years old. I had a very strict upbringing.
Yeah.
My grandparents raised me, and they raised me the old-fashioned way, and they were religious, so I was raised in a Christian household with Christian values and morals, and they were so strict on me that I felt the need to get out of the house. I wanted to go be with other people. I wanted to be with more free people. I was attracted to the bad kids because I was forced to be one of the good kids. And I don't blame my grandparents for me getting pregnant at an early age, but I definitely think that the way they raised me contributed to me ultimately making the decision to not necessarily have sex, but do it in a sneaky way. I feel like if I could have been more open, if I could have communicated with it more with my grandmother, I may not have gotten pregnant.
I try to approach parenting that way and not being too sheltering, because I see that happen so often. Kids that grow up sheltered, when they're finally let go, it's like sensory overload and there's just too much. And it just, it can be a problem. But you also got to wonder what you're exposing them to that might plant those other bad seeds. I don't know.
Yeah. Coscrow, that's not what I'm saying at all, dude. I'm saying, especially her first period, this is something me and my wife are going to have to talk about, just because it regulates everything. Of course we're going to tell her, look, if you continue to take this, you got to take it every day, because it's also going to promote responsibility. You got to take it every day at the same time. This is what
birth control taken every day typically.
Mm-hmm.
The pills are. There are other birth control methods, but the pills you have to take every day at the same time.
Okay, I got a question for you guys though. If you're doing this, does the kid or the daughter, does she know what she's actually taking? So does she know that it's birth control?
I'm giving her all the pros and cons. I'm giving her all the information she needs.
Okay.
The day that we go to the doctor explains the doctor side, and on the way home, I explain my side, and then, from there, right? She has to take it.
I'll tell you, Ferris, this is my 3rd time on here with you doing the parenting thing. This is the first time I've been sitting here going, I don't even want to think about this. This is not what I signed up for.
This is the point in the show, man.
I'm in here going, nuh-uh, Stella, you're never getting birth control.
But you're not alone in feeling that, though. That's the thing, though. That's the whole goal of
the reason why I'm asking that question, though. The reason why I'm asking that question is because I'm just trying to think here, okay? Playing devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. If your daughter knows what birth control is, because birth control is something that's given out so that you can be sexually active. Part of the reason, at least, right, is so you can be sexually active and it's safe. Mm-hmm. So would you be scared that your daughter would understand this as, oh, I can have sex now? It's safe.
Hell yeah.
Maybe not at 10 years old, but maybe at 12 years old or 13.
So that's why I was asking, do you think that it encourages them to go out and have sex? Because when you say birth control and you say it prevents pregnancy and like you can have sex and you won't have a baby, like does that then like
trigger something and say, oh,
Yeah.
I can go out and
that's what I was trying to say. It's like there's no way around telling them that, like, hey, you technically can have sex and it reduces the chance of getting pregnant by a lot because nothing's 100%, you know,
except for abstinence.
Except for abstinence, yeah. But well, I don't know, the Virgin Mary. I mean, are we gonna go there? But but like, you know, it goes along like promoting other stuff. Like I said, the responsibility of taking a pill every day.
Yeah.
You know, the health aspect of it. You know, everything else, and then you know, yes, you can have sex, but hey, you're too young for that. You know, you don't need to be doing that. But
that's definitely how the conversation goes, right? If you have a daughter and you take her to get birth control and you're like, this is a precaution, but you need to understand that like you're too young for it right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing this for other reasons other than this. You know, I don't want you to be, you know, sexually active until you're married, you know? Like, but this is for other reasons.
I'm
like
dead.
Yeah, when I'm dead, exactly. You know, it's just as long as you're promoting like the other benefits of it.
Yeah.
Of
well,
course,
so definitely that's something I would have to do because as her mother, I've had an irregular cycle and I got put on birth control because of that. Yeah. It wasn't so that I could have sex. I got put on it because of my period. And like, that's definitely a part of the conversation. But I feel like if you're going to put your kid on birth control, then you have to be honest about the entire conversation. You have to give it all to them, not just the bits and pieces that you want them to hear.
And then, you know, at the same time, you gotta say like, hey, you know, you're a woman now, you know, going back to like the 30s or 40s, like when girls have their periods, they're considered women, you know. It's like, I'm giving you this responsibility. I trust you. I know this is going to help you. It's going to, you know, but this is why you're taking this now. You know, and you don't have to tell anybody at school because then everybody's going to start, you know, kids are going to be kids. But
I think it's also important to point out that, like, regardless of how you parent your children, regardless of birth control or condoms, if a teenager wants to go have sex, they're gonna go have sex.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it. They will figure out a way to make it happen. Short of like getting a chastity belt and like forcing it on them against their will, or like keeping them locked in the house and like taking.
Is this still a legal option?
I was just wondering, can I get one of those on Amazon?
No,
Free Prime shipping.
It's just gonna like in the end, it makes so like my grandparents tried to raise me like don't have sex till you're married. My grandmother, the sex talk that she had with me was, it feels like you're getting your insides ripped out. Don't do it. That's legit what she said. And I still went out and did it.
But this conversation shouldn't be difficult to talk about. That's the thing that's super frustrating. I mean, I'm reading the chat and there's a whole bunch of people like, oh, I just want to have this yet. I just want to have this yet. But this whole perception of like, we need to educate this regardless of belief or not. Like, I need my daughter to feel 100% confident that if she's in a situation, she can call me and I can help get her out of that situation if possible, or whatever else. I need her to be able to have that communication and trust with me to let me know, no matter how much it might hurt me or how it would affect me, to still have that there. And I think that's the thing that would be the ultimate goal, like at the end of the day, is to be able to put my emotions in check and put that aside.
I have a friend of mine at work whose daughter is 16, and she asked her father to buy her alcohol. So the legal age here is 18, okay? And he went out and bought it for her. And then he got like complete shit from his wife for doing it. And he was explaining to me why he did it. And he said he did it because he wants her to, like, if he wants her to be honest with him.
Yep.
And he doesn't want her to lie. So he'd rather her, like, you know, be honest with him. And I guess he did it to win her over a little bit, I guess you could say. But there's two sides to it. No.
They're not divorced. Okay.
No.
I feel like they're definitely
how do you feel like that? Like, would you guys, if you were in that situation, would you buy your daughter alcohol at that age?
there are different
Not
ways
at
to approach it.
16.
I wouldn't buy her alcohol, but like, I also know I'm not going to be able to stop her from getting her hands on it if it's what she really wants to do.
Exactly.
So like at that point, it's like, I am not condoning this behavior, but just know if you're going to indulge in that behavior that like you can call me and I'm not going to like rage at you. Like if you get into a spot because you drank and you don't feel comfortable around the people that you're around, or like just, there are ways to tell your kid no without making them feel like they can't talk to you about it.
Right.
Good point. Good point.
I grew up with a lot of people like that smoked weed with their parents for the first time. Like, you know, that were completely
recently.
I got my mom to the dark side.
My mom actually bought me alcohol at a young age.
Yeah.
My parents own a bar, so I drank way too early.
You're saying no, hold it. So they smoked before, or is this just the first time you smoked with them and they never smoked before?
Oh, they never smoked before.
Bullshit.
And I was like,
corrupting your parents.
My mom literally was so mad at me when I told her that I smoked.
She had to do that because she didn't want you to smoke. Because they'd
no.
have to take her stash. She'd have to hide her stash.
She's so against it. They randomly came over to my house one day, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Andrew. I know you're talking, but they came over to my house one day, and you could smell it. And my mom is so innocent. She came in and she was like, "Did your dog like get into a skunk or something?" And I'm like, "Yeah, Mom, that's totally what happened."
Did you get?
And then I eventually got her to. I should. Now that she's all about it. Like one day she switched. She's all about it, and I'm like.
My mom gave me a ton of shit for smoking weed, and then later she told me about her and my dad and how they used to smoke fat. Like they were buying ounces and shit and just blazing. Then we used to pinch off my mom.
Well, maybe for her birthday, you can introduce her to crack, Giovanni.
Maybe that'd be a first for me.
My mom,
you gotta go with bath salts or something.
Right?
She bought alcohol for me when I was young, and like while it did make me more open with her and it made me want to talk to her about things more, I also like as an adult, I do not respect my mom at all. She's not really a mother to me. She's a friend. And that's honestly how I feel about it. Like I love my mom. I know she's my mom, but A, she didn't raise me, and B, she enabled me to make bad decisions. Like she didn't parent me at all. So it's you're trading like an open communicative relationship, which you can get in other ways, by the way, with them respecting you as a parent and coming to you for advice, right? Like I don't ask my mom for advice on anything ever because she's not going to give me good advice. And I know she's not going to because she literally makes the worst decisions. Yeah, what not to do. I watch her and I know how not to live my life, right?
She was a good mom inadvertently because you're very smart because of her.
I think that was more due to my grandparents, honestly, because my grandparents did raise me. I just went to her house on like the weekends and stuff.
Gotcha.
That though, I'm not saying this is what you're saying, but a lot of people have this argument that like parents who allow you to make dumb decisions, there are hands-off approaches to parenting, and they're like, let them learn from their mistakes. And then they're like, well, I'm a good parent because my kid turned out great, but like my parents are crap. They are actual crap. My dad is on drugs right now. He is living a horrible life, and my mom is also living a horrible life with less illegal substances.
Those drugs.
But like I don't respect either of them. What'd you say? Hold on.
Gave your parents
Giovanni might have gave him those. I didn't really want to joke about it. I'm sure, it's not a good topic, but I'm a horrible person.
I was
gonna say, it's not guys, weed.
This is why conservatives are afraid of condoms talk, because now we're talking about drugs. See, sex leads to drugs.
Whatever.
Playing Fortnite and it's all downhill.
I was just gonna say, you had mentioned it earlier. It's like, shit, I lost what I was going to say.
I do that a lot.
Something that
I was going to say something cool, but then I got high.
Bro.
Sorry.
I love that song, by the way.
Yeah, that sounds great.
You can
I
make fun of anything with it.
Grandmother, and it was awesome.
Now it's stuck in my
That's
head.
one thing I'm really
You're
interested in seeing now, in contrast to when I was growing up, because in Nevada we have legal recreational weed now. So kind of what drug education is going to be like for my kids going through school, like
Yeah.
how different it's going to be. How they're not going to have that sort of stigma, with weed, and if they're still going to push, that you shouldn't smoke, or if it'll kind of be treated like alcohol, and it's like, yeah, you shouldn't, but it's not going to kill you. I don't know.
Just wait till mushrooms are decriminalized in all states.
Well, so the thing about weed is that like it's also medicinal, and I know some people don't really agree with that. I don't know where everyone here stands on it, but like it's used in like treatments for different things, whereas alcohol was never prescribed. Well, I won't say never, but it's not prescribed now. People, you don't go to the doctor and then the doctor tell you, oh, just drink 2 liters of Bud Light and you'll be right as rain. Like,
has convinced them. No,
I think it's going to be. I don't think marijuana is going to be one of those like, well, yeah, it won't kill you, but don't do it. I think they'll have a very different approach to it. And they might take it out of like drug education completely. I don't know.
Isn't it still a Schedule 1 drug?
I don't know.
Yeah, as of right now.
Federally, yeah. It's
I just
still
mean,
illegal
like,
federally.
In the future, not right now, obviously. They in the state of Alabama, they call it dope. Yeah.
Okay.
And they refer to it as like a really bad, like it's right up there with meth at the schools here. That's how bad it is.
Jeez.
California, they just give you a ticket for meth. But
Yeah. I'm from
How do you know
SoCal,
that?
so
because I watched the stupid Vice documentary against my own wishes, but it was against
No.
Fresno, and I'm from Fresno, so I had to watch it.
It's
don't know.
legal. It's legal where I am. So
Yeah.
Meth
I-
is? Are we still talking about meth?
no. Weed.
Weed.
Oh, I was like, holy shit, man! Like,
on fire.
I'm pretty progressive, but damn, right? There's a line. There's a line.
I'm not
And
telling
we
you
gotta
where I live.
snort it.
but-
No, I'm just kidding. I don't.
yeah, exactly. If you
don't
say
do
dope
drugs.
in SoCal, you're not getting pot.
Yeah.
I know
think you-
that. That's just what they call
No,
it.
no.
here.
So back
I
to
think
get us on topic before we go way off in the weed.
Sorry.
here.
Already off.
I know. But it was good. It was a good conversation. It flowed. But as far as like the sex education and like the condoms, this mom was feeling she was a bad mom, and I was like, no, you're not a bad mom
No.
at all. In fact, I probably would encourage pursuing like legal action, just because I don't like, even if it wasn't the rules, I still feel like a 1 to 2 day suspension would be valid.
I don't
if-
think a
if anything.
suspension at all.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
like
It's a bit of a violation of privacy there.
If you're not allowed to take your phone to school and you take your phone to school and it's on the list of contraband, they do not suspend you for having your phone. They take it away.
Mhm.
So why would you suspend a kid over condoms? That's stupid. I don't
They
like
give us-
that school. That school, I would have some very hateful words for the president of that school.
But
Not
they
president.
could argue and
Principal.
say that a phone and a condom is 2 different things, right?
I don't know. you
Yeah,
can
a
both
phone distracts them from their education. A condom in
I
their
would
purse
see 'em
does
as two
what?
different things.
I could
distract them
text
from the
somebody-
education.
How? It's in their
In a very
purse. It's a
in a very
condom.
different way, but
In a
yeah.
very different way.
Okay,
I mean,
but,
unless
like,
they're using the con.
If
I
they're
don't even
having
wanna
sex
say
at
this,
school,
but
then
if they're using a
protection
condom with a
isn't really
banana,
on the forefront of their
handling
mind,
it
is it?
Oh.
Just go ahead, Steven.
Okay, so
Hold on.
Let
I
me
was gonna say it's a 2-person thing. It takes 2 to tango. If you're on your phone, you're on your own. If they're like what I was saying, using on a banana or a cucumber or something, then but they're I could see someone making the case that it could be involving other students. They could be giving them to other students, thus encouraging. And I don't agree with the suspension, but I mean I could see where some people would come from and not liking that happening.
So, does it make a difference? Like, I don't remember if I read it or not. Like, was it a girl that got caught with the condoms?
There's a girl that got caught with a condom, but I don't think it should matter either way in general.
Yeah,
Like,
but I'm saying, like, somebody in the chat's like, dude, everybody had a condom in their wallet growing up.
mhm.
Like all the
I think
guys.
in middle school, especially, like that's kind of when you start.
I know
something
you
to-
don't think it should matter, Ferris, but I honestly believe that, like, in this school's case, if a boy had been caught with a condom, he would not have been suspended for it.
I couldn't tell one way or the other. If it was in the rules and they caught him with it, I can only assume that they would do the same thing. Somebody in the chat though did mention like, what if it was a boy? Then it doesn't matter because it's for the boy, like it's like their thing. But like, okay, well then what if it was a female condom? Like your argument still falls on his face. That
Yeah.
Is it considered contraband if a girl takes birth control to school?
I was gonna ask that earlier when you guys were talking about it being taken daily. If the student had gotten caught with birth control instead of a condom, how would they treat that?
Yeah. It's a lot of what ifs. I mean, I wish we can have them on there, and if they feel like coming on and explaining the situation.
Where was
get
this
them
at?
in. This was on like my chat last night when they were.
No, I mean, like what part of the
state? I don't know, and I wanted to get some more questions answered from it, because I think it's kind of vital to kind of get an idea of like, oh well, if it happened in a state like New York, which very open with a lot of stuff.
That's what I wonder. They probably would have gave them the condoms.
Yeah.
Like,
so like I know certain
like it had
states
like a
do that.
Bible Belt, like real. I don't know.
Had to be in the South. Had to be deep South, like Georgia.
Fucking South.
Yeah.
Fucking South.
Freaking Southerners. No.
Or Louisiana or something. That seems like a Louisiana thing to me. Like I really feel like that's Louisiana.
More of an Alabama thing for sure. Just saying,
Probably.
for obvious reasons. Just kidding.
I'll tell you what, if any of my kids have condoms, they're gonna have worse problems in the school suspending them. I don't know how I would handle that.
You said how old was she?
She was 13, about to be 14, and the mom gave them to her. So
I lost my virginity at 14, so I'm not going to be mad at my kid for having condoms.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want her to lose her virginity that early, but I'm definitely not going to be like, why do you have these?
Yeah. Does that change?
Because I understand.
Does that change if you didn't give her the condoms and this is the first you heard that she has that? Would that change your perspective of how you would address it as well?
Well, it definitely would be a different approach at that point because she didn't communicate with me that she was sexually active and that she was in need of protection.
But you're just assuming she is, though, with that, though.
Well, if
we know she's sexually active.
Yeah.
Well, if she has the condom, then I'm going to ask her why she has the condom. And if she tells me it's for protection, I'm going to ask her why does she need protection. If she tells me she's having sex, then I'm going to be like, I want you to talk to me about these things.
I was using it for water balloons, Mom.
I'm definitely not talking to my
There
parents.
are kids who put condoms on their head nowadays. Yeah.
Like,
I was doing that new YouTube challenge.
Yeah, it changes. It changes
Just 'cause
from
they have a
discipline
condom doesn't mean they're
conversation
sexually
to a
active.
communication conversation. Like if I find out my kid has condoms and I didn't give them to her, then it's about communication at that point. It's like it doesn't. I actually like if she's having sex. If we're assuming that she's having sex and she needs the protection for the sex. If she is sexually active, then there's nothing like. I mean, she's sexually active. I can't put her virginity back in her body. You know, she's already experienced it. Then it's about, I want you to talk to me about these things so I can tell you how to do them safely and like make sure that you're not making the wrong choices. And like, I want to make sure you don't end up pregnant and like, just it's a completely different conversation at that point.
Hold on. I'll be right back. I want to get my wife's point of view and see what she says about this. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I definitely think that like sex for daughters is a different conversation between mothers and fathers. Fathers do not want to think about their daughters being sexually active at all. They do not want to talk about it. And I understand, right? But like as a woman who has a daughter, like it's an inevitable occurrence. Like it's gonna happen, and I don't expect her to wait till marriage. I
got 2 boys. I'll handle them. The wife can handle the girl, and we'll be good. I don't want to speak no evil, see no evil, and hear no evil. I don't want to know nothing about it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to think about it.
How are you going to talk to your sons about it?
Huh?
How do you approach it with your
It's
sons?
still not an easy conversation, but it's definitely easier. Like, here's some rubbers. Don't screw up. You know.
Is that really like the entire conversation? Because I feel like with daughters, you have to have like a super serious like look. I feel oftentimes boys don't get the whole like shame associated with losing their virginity at a young age.
My whole point, or not, I shouldn't say my point, but my aim is to get rid of any kind of stigma. I mean, the whole idea of virginity is the most outdated and ridiculous concept. And
I agree with you.
It's just like a religious thing. That's the only time that it matters. Like it doesn't. You know what I mean? There's no chewed bubble gum. There's no you're used up or you're impure now. That's all nonsense, and it's just not there. My main sticking points and my main conversation would revolve around consent, number one, and a very close number two, safety. Other than that, go nuts, dude. Let me know if you need to re-up on some condoms.
Well, age is a factor too, though, right?
Yeah, no, age is definitely a factor.
Yeah.
I don't want my kid being sexually active at like 9, but I was shamed heavily when I got pregnant. Like I didn't get to I didn't get to enjoy my pregnancy at all. When I had my daughter, I felt like I had literally done the worst thing on the planet. I had committed the worst sin, and I had disappointed my family in the worst way. And I want to do the opposite with my kid. I never want her to feel ashamed for anything ever. I want her to be proud. I want her to flourish. I want her to communicate like those and to be safe. Those are like my priorities. And unfortunately,
I think with the boy, consent is the big one with the boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's my main focus, because it's, you know, it's really easy to fall into the trap of like, well, I can't do anything now, or, oh, I'm not even allowed to flirt with a girl. Like, you most certainly are, but just don't be an asshole about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I am an asshole about it, but you know, I don't have to live in this time and all that kind of stuff.
I forgot. I was watching somebody last night. I forgot who it was, but they were talking about somebody that got arrested and sued for saving a woman out of her car. Like her car flipped over, and he pulled her out of the car, and she got him arrested for groping her, and then she made it all up.
A second ago, you almost have to be careful even flirting now. Like I feel bad for young.
This
boy.
woman had a man arrested for him saving her life.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he,
this is real. This is not a joke. This actually happened.
It legit happened.
And then she came out saying that she made it all up, that he didn't grope her, he just saved her life. But the guy, I guess, is like getting a divorce now. He lost his job. He got all this ridicule and everything. But it's like they believe the woman because of the time we're living in now. It's like,
yeah, there's a lot of pros and cons to the Me Too movement. And like, man, false accusations are so damaging. And it's gonna get to a point where when a person accuses another person of something of that nature, I'm not gonna talk about this.
I'm trying to get where it was, because they were talking about this on Trainwreck's podcast.
that's where it was.
And so, man arrested after trying to save dying woman, but all the stuff was pretty much damaging his wife. Left him. It was bad. Like, wife left him. Man. All this other stuff. He's arrested and lost his job. Everything else there after she accused him of groping her by pulling her out of a car or something like that.
And then later she came and said I had made it all up, but the damage was already done.
Yeah.
Oh, she admitted she was lying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh man,
she's gonna get nailed in civil court with that whole thing, though. And I don't feel like there's gonna be that many, because there's always, you know, it always has to peak and then chill out. You know what I mean? Like the violence in video games and stuff, and in movies, you know, everything was, you know, freaking out and everything, like in the early 90s, and then it just got to a point where it got ridiculous, like where they were doing stuff like Freddy Got Fingered came out, which was just gross to be gross. There was nothing else. And like it peaked there. And then once they finally do that, then it starts to chill out and get real. And I feel like that's kind of at least hopeful of what's going to happen with situations like that, because she'll get completely destroyed in civil court with that. I mean, defamation, all kinds of stuff, you know, lost wages, emotional turmoil. Like there's a million different things you can kill somebody with in civil court like that. And it's only going to take so many of those to go public before people realize that, like, they're not just screwing up that guy's thing right now. They're going to have to pay this dude, you know, for a while, or vice versa, you know, depending on if it goes the other way.
It's when people make false accusations about things like this, it's so much more. And the fact that she came clean is great and all, but like there are going to be people out there who don't believe her truth. They're going to think, oh, well, she was paid to say that she was lying, or like something happened. She's being blackmailed. Like there's some other reason why she's going back on her initial statement. There are always going to be people out there who believe him to be like, as she initially painted him to be.
Okay, let me ask this.
They're so damaging.
This could be probably a topic for like another week, but like just to kind of get it back on track for the parenting podcast. Like, what if that was your child? You know, like what if your child did that to somebody's life, like that guy's life, like came up to you and be like, okay, this guy touched me. You know, 2 weeks later, oh no, he didn't. Like, I mean,
my kid would be in a lot of trouble. My daughter would be in a lot of trouble. I would not go easy on something like that.
I don't know. It's going to be one of those weird ones where it's going to determine what happens and what how far you'd go. Would you protect your child or other stuff? Because I've seen some really effed up shit happen with my brother-in-law and her family, basically almost nearly defending their daughter when the guy that she's with is literally like having the kids do Fight Club. I shit you not, like fighting each other, like his kids and her kids. So it's like the step kids are fighting each other. And then there's also a borderline of stuff that was happening where the girl was being touched inappropriately. But yet they still came to the side of the daughter, knowing that this was happening. This was stuff there. And so like, it's weird. The bond with a parent is kind of weird. You could even argue, just as like the Casey Anthony thing, like the dad may have helped get her off or something like that. That's a whole nother story of something else there. Like how far would you go to protect your children? But
somebody asked me out on my stream the other day, like if I would help my kid cover up a murder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, shit.
No. If my kid committed a crime like that, then it's something up here, right? And she needs to get help. And the only way she can get help is if everybody knows what happened and she gets convicted. Like otherwise I'm enabling her to kill people. Do you want to be enabling murderer? No, you don't.
It's your kid though too.
I don't know if prison's gonna fix either though.
I've already told her. Her and I have had this conversation. We talk about some of the craziest stuff.
So you smoke my weed, I sell you up the river.
No, but like I love her, and I will tell her, I'm like, I love you, and no matter what you do in your life, I will always love you. But just know, if you commit a crime and I know about it and nobody else knows about it, you're going to jail. I'm snitching on you.
Snitch.
Oh, I'm not gonna snitch. Yeah, I'm not gonna snitch. But like, if an FBI person comes up to me and is like, "Hey, do you know anything about this?" and I do, but if we're the only two people who know about the crime, your secret's safe with me, buddy.
I'm not in that boat. I'm in another boat. My kid's going to jail.
I tell her all the time. She tells me stuff about school. I'm like, wait, so you snitched?
Yeah, that's exactly.
I've seen what can happen if a parent lets their kid do things and doesn't tell them.
I was just trying to get us back on track to parenting stuff.
My brother is a perfect example.
We talk about drugs. We talk about sex. It leads to murder, everybody. If you don't learn anything from this podcast, don't have sex.
Well, like going back to parenting, right?
Don't go outside.
My mom didn't tell on my brother when he did things he wasn't supposed to do. She let him get away with those things. Like she grounded him at home and stuff. But like in the back of his mind, he knew like, so he was stealing from people. He stole quite a bit of stuff. He's like beat people up. He's done drugs. And like, he's 27. He's going to be 28 this year. And he has nothing to show for it. He just ended up in a hospital because he was walking in the hood wearing the wrong color. And he got the crap beat out of him. Like this whole part of his face is crushed because he got beat up with brass knuckles. And like he just got off of heroin, and like he was in a relationship with this really crazy woman, and she like his life is in shambles because my mom has enabled him his whole life. So I don't want to be that parent. Like literally how we talked about earlier, I see my mom and I see what not to do.
Yeah.
You got to apply a certain level of personal responsibility to that, though. I mean, you could say she enabled him, but, you know, at the end of the day, he still makes his decisions.
Well, yes and no. My brother is like, I think he's undiagnosed like mental challenges.
Was he vaccinated?
Yeah, he was vaccinated, but I don't think that's it. I think he's like, so he's
I
got
know what you're
ADHD and he's
saying.
bipolar, but like mentally and emotionally, he's stunted. He's 27, but he functions on like a 12 to 13-year-old level.
Is that something to do with drugs?
Well,
Like
he's
later in
he's
life?
always been that way. Before he ever even touched drugs, he was that way. He's always been slow.
Gotcha. Let's do this. Let's wrap up the last half hour and get really heated at each other about this one.
Oh no, no
snap.
more kids and sex, please. I've got 3 girls, man. Come on.
We're not.
Take a break.
Oh,
This is,
big oof.
it seems like the hot topic on Twitch, but we're gonna have the parental spin on it. There's a infamous affiliate that's going around. I don't know if you would call it booby shaming, but says
May, get ready, May. Get ready, May.
Goes around, has been on a couple different podcasts, was on one today even, and basically saying like this not welcomed on Twitch in a way, or Twitch needs to do a better job of doing some stuff there, or that's on a site that I want to be affiliated with or something like that. And so I'm like, well, you have the ability to leave, and there's also other gaming sites if you choose to do that too. So
Well, is there a more
it can go
conservative
both ways.
streaming platform though, like that doesn't allow that?
I would say
Like,
Mixer.
Mixer would be more welcoming because they want anyone they can get over there. You know, YouTube
Yeah.
doesn't really seem to give much of shit. That D-Live, whatever the new one is, I don't know if they're more restrictive.
I want to start off what I have to say with from like a parental standpoint.
Yeah.
And like there are lots of parents out there who are like, well, you shouldn't stream this type of content, or you shouldn't create this type of content because kids are watching. But like, you're a parent. You have control over what your kid watches. If you don't want them on Twitch, you don't put them on Twitch.
Yeah.
You put like there's parental controls for everything now. There's parental controls from computers, for laptops, for tablets, for phones. There's parental controls for everything.
Mhm.
And like if you don't want your kid exposed to it, don't allow them to be exposed to it. It's not on the content creator to alter their content so that you don't have to watch what your kids are watching. I recently had an incident with my daughter, who is 9 years old. I will say that again. She was on YouTube. And YouTube they're making a lot of changes to monetization and like those types of things. So a lot of the people from YouTube are like moving to different platforms and like, but like she was watching, what is that? It's like a really dark cartoonish type, Freddy, Five Nights of Freddy.
Oh,
Is that what it's called? Yeah, she
Yeah.
was watching stuff like that. And like she was writing really dark poems, and like it's kids at school that were telling her about it, and she was like watching it and reading it, and I grounded her.
For
I
Five
looked
Nights
at
at
her-
Freddy?
Yeah, well, you didn't read the dark shit she was writing.
That ain't got nothing to do with that. That's got something to do with her head. That ain't got.
That's with you.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just
No, she was inspired by the stuff she was watching. It
Okay.
wasn't just Five Nights at Freddy, right? It was like a whole bunch of stuff. There's a whole bunch of YouTubers that have crazy humor, and that's fine. That's their humor. I would
Okay.
never tell them to change who they are as a content creator. All I'm saying is that like I took that away from her. I was like, you can no longer watch this. You can no longer participate in this. Like you're grounded for 3 weeks, and then after that 3 weeks, you do not have access
Yikes.
to these YouTubers. Yeah, well, listen, it was a very scary experience. I didn't anticipate to be going through an emo phase until she was like 14. But she's
Is-
not going through this emo phase, and it scared the shit out
Is
of me.
this why you're talking about your thing that you're talking about of being cursed? Is
No,
earlier? Okay.
no.
Just
That's
making sure.
completely
You know-
unrelated. No, this
Just
is
wanna
an
make
entirely
sure.
different topic. But I wasn't monitoring her. That was the problem. I
Yeah.
got wrapped up in working for my ex-boyfriend. I was helping him with his stream and his community and doing a lot of things for him. So a lot of my time was spent like doing technical stuff on the
So
computer.
did you ground yourself for 3
hell of an
weeks
heck.
since it was your fault for
I
letting her do
paid,
it?
well, I didn't ground myself for my work, but like I spent more time with her, you know, I watched her more closely, and I do now. I watch her more
Okay.
closely. We have serious conversations. We talk about the things that she watches. We talk about how she feels, the books that she reads, because she really likes to read. She reads like big novels, and I have to make sure she's not reading something that like some like really
Means you
not
have to
good
read now too.
stuff.
You have to pre-read it.
Like she doesn't need to be reading Game of Thrones right now. She's 9.
True.
Okay.
Very true.
You want to read The Bridge to Terabithia? Go ahead. Do not read Game of Thrones.
So yeah, I do agree with as far as like the content creator. It's not the content creator's responsibility to tailor their stuff here. However, Twitch is a platform that a 13-year-old should be able to access and not have to worry about this. And yes, there is a certain amount of parental influence that I would recommend going involved, because there's a lot of people that don't stream under the parental like 18 plus mature, and I don't know, there's the whole argument of like that can be overridden anyways regardless of
Yeah,
what
pretty
it is.
easily.
If they're
What do
not
you-
streaming under the mature, like the little checkbox that you have to
Yeah.
mark, if they're not streaming under that, they should get in trouble for it.
Have you had an angry mom reach out to you or angry parent reach out to you about your content as a
No.
self-proclaimed booby streamer?
No.
Okay.
And when people come into
What
my
is booby
stream,
streamer?
She
What are we
said she
talking
is.
about
She
here?
said
cleavage, just lots of
I-
titties.
Why can't
Um,
13-year-olds see that? It's the same thing. Like I used to have to look at J.C. Penney catalogs. Good,
Yeah.
that's all they got, man.
Well-
Right, let 'em
But
go.
he's right. It's all over. It's all over right now. You can
Like-
find
Let 'em play a play,
Instagram.
man.
Go on Instagram. It's all over
There
Instagram.
There are like fast food commercials that are more sexual
Those
than
Carl's
like
Jr.
That's
than
only
some
Carl's
of the
Jr.
content
Only Carl's
that's on
Jr.
Twitch.
That's only Carl's Jr.
But that's a completely different topic, right? We're
Nice.
talking about like kids bypassing the mature thing and going to streams. Me personally, if somebody comes into my stream and they say that they are under the age of 18, if they are like even a joke, they get banned.
Uh-huh.
If I ask someone
did
how
the
old they are based on their behavior, because you can usually tell if it's a kid, and they tell me that they're young, they get banned, and I do not unban them. I'm like, come back when you're 18, then we can discuss this. But my content is not for you. You are not welcome here.
I actually had
What
a
the hell are you doing on your
I mean-
stream?
Huh?
What are you doing on your stream?
I have like so I cuss a lot. I
That's
drink.
PG-13.
Yeah, she's pretty vanilla on stream most of the time, but when she brings in these other degenerates,
The other degenerates
they end up asking
really.
like stupid sexual questions a lot.
It gets
so.
escalated a lot.
Yeah, but
so
isn't that fine for those? Like we were talking about sexual education and starting at a younger age. I understand that when people are drinking, it may not be educational content,
Well,
per se,
it's-
but
Yeah.
just like a warning, like a disclaimer. I'm about to say something really like
triggering.
maybe not for you guys, but if there are any younger people watching, turn it off. All right. So like 13-year-olds don't need to hear about the numerous different types of positions. They don't need to hear about ass eating. They don't need to hear about like the way that you like nipple play and all these other things. They don't need to know about that yet.
I'd
Okay.
rather hear
Play
them
with
from their
nipples,
parents
need
than
condoms.
hear from you, though. I'd rather teach
What?
them that. I'd rather teach them that than you teach them.
You gonna teach your
Okay,
kid about nipple
exactly.
play and eating ass?
I'm
You're gonna
just saying
teach your
that, like,
daughter
I've
about
got
eating
nipples,
ass?
Ferris. Could you make me?
I'm not teaching her that. No.
Educational wise,
I'm just saying that, like,
you guys suck.
that, like that's the type of stuff that I talk about on my stream, and that's why I have a
Yeah.
mature thing checked. That's why I have the little check box ticked, and that's why I ban people who come into my stream and say that they're younger than the age of 18, because I don't feel like I'm child appropriate at all.
Oh, shit, anybody that watches my stream, we're talking about eating ass tonight. Let's go. Nipple play, eating ass, all of the things.
So to bring it along the side with the parental thing, so we're not just talking about eating ass, just to talk.
If you're gonna eat ass, make sure you're vaccinated. Let's bring it full circle.
True. Facts.
You just covered the whole stream right there.
We
I
did.
Thank you
Recap.
guys tonight.
Recap.
And wash your
30
hands.
seconds, and wash
Roll
your hands.
credits.
But as far as like my concern would be is because some of these so-called booby streamers are from other sites that are adult in nature, where there is nudity and stuff like that. So that's some of the concern, I think, where there can be some concern, especially when using like a premium Snapchat as a means to get a sub. So like some people have given like a premium Snapchat for subbing to their channel, which I'm missing the boat. I thought the dad bod calendar was going to be my go-to, but
We're still
Yeah.
waiting on that.
I just want to say that, like, if
Which content
there
I-
are streamers who are advertising a premium snap, they can be banned for it.
What's a
Really?
premium snap?
Yes.
What's it?
You are not supposed to advertise that stuff on this platform at all.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to advertise Premium Snap, Patreon, or any adult websites whatsoever. And if you do
Well, that's
advertise it
assuming
and
that
you
it's
get
adult.
reported, you can have your account taken away indefinitely.
Like, I get if someone says my premium snap where I'm going to show you my butthole versus my premium snap where it might just be things that aren't shown on another platform. You know, for Patreon subscribers,
Well,
you
it's
might
like
get uploads that, you know, they're not necessarily inappropriate for Twitch, but
yeah.
I mean, I get when we talk titty streamer and Snapchat and premium snaps, we know what's being insinuated, but
Yes.
where do you draw the
exactly.
line on that assumption? I mean, unless it's explicitly stated, then you know, you
Well,
can't.
that would
assume.
so when people get reported for things like that, then it's up to the Twitch staff to go back and review their content and
Mhm.
make it an informed decision on whether or not they feel like their Snapchat is and
Mhm.
really the term premium snap is associated with like cam models and like
nudes.
porn stars and
So-
nudes.
Yeah.
Like when you say premium snap, you don't think about like daily life content where people are like sending cats and animal snaps and like what they had to eat and like a little adventure
Yeah.
that they took hiking or something like that. You just say snap. You're like, and I remember when it was just Snapchat, like a year ago, people
YouTube-
were like, if you sub, you get access to my snap. And it wasn't an inappropriate innuendo. It was just like, you have a piece of my
another way
life.
to connect to them.
Yeah,
and,
You
know,
have a piece
faster
of my
than
life that
YouTube,
other people won't have because you support me in a way that other people don't.
Mhm.
Now it's premium snap is like expressly for
So yeah, so my
Those types of
concern
things.
with it is because one, you can set up a free Amazon or a Twitch Prime account. You can also sub with that for free. And then now you got a free premium snap to this person and you don't have to prove anything that you're 18 or anything. So my concern would be is that a 13-year-old to 17-year-old, depending on what state, and it's legal, I guess, for 17, but you can basically have access to somebody's nudes for free.
well, this
That's-
goes back to a content creator not needing to tailor their content for an audience that shouldn't be there, right? If they
Yeah.
have the mature content box ticked and they are streaming to adults and their audience is and they're not
Yeah.
trying to pull kids into their community, right? They're targeting adults, not kids. And a kid subs to them and gets access to a premium snap. It is up to the parent who monitors their child to take that away.
I feel like that's an impossible standard.
How?
I like how you're not going to be around your kid all the time. I mean,
No, but if your kid like there, so
I've
it
actually
really
had-
depends. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I've actually had somebody come in and be like, "Hey, are you like family friendly? Because I'm watching with my kids. Like I'm watching you with my kids. You know, I'm like, dude, I try not to curse. Yeah, I have the mature content box clicked, but I try not to curse because I'm only trying to weed it out so my daughter doesn't hear me curse.
Yeah.
So I've had a few people do that. Like, you know,
It's
so it's not impossible.
it's not impossible to monitor your kids. It is impossible to monitor their every movement, their every word, and their every breath. But if you are I would never parent shame because I know some people have
this
like-
isn't Facebook.
different
Mhm.
standards. Yes. But like if you are concerned about your kid having access to porn, then you are monitoring their online behavior. Porn is easily accessible on the internet. If you're concerned about your kid having access to porn, then you're monitoring it.
I mean, if we're talking about like my 13-year-old boy, I mean, I think I was 13 when the internet came out, or at least when we got it. and that opened up a whole world. And there wasn't video back then on the internet; it was still dial-up.
VHS.
But yeah, you had that one VHS that got passed around that was just all faded, and up at the top of the thing there was a squiggly line because
I
it had
don't know
been
what
watched
you're
and
talking about,
rewound.
but it sounds funny.
But yeah, that's gonna be another one of those like don't ask, don't tell type of situations. Like with the boy, like, look, man, do what you do. You know, like we don't need to talk about that, man. Like I don't, you know, it's known that I do my own thing to my wife, but it's not something that we talk about at dinner or anything like that. It's not something that comes up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like, hey, how was your day today? Did you beat off? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not how it goes. It's just, you know.
I'm not
we all
mature
know.
enough for this conversation.
There are parents who feel the opposite, though, right? We can agree that there are parents out there that don't want their kids having access to that type of material. They just are not comfortable with it.
Well, I
And,
wouldn't want them having access, but I don't think that I can constantly police it. You know, like I can do what I can to try, you know, and whatnot, but kids are smart. They're crafty.
If-
You know, if we
There's
could hide
also
back
some parents.
VHS
There's also
in
some
the
parents
90s.
that don't know about Twitch.
That's true. There are parents
Right.
who don't know
What
about
about
Twitch.
those? What about like 13-year-olds that are watching something they shouldn't be watching, and the parents don't know about Twitch? They have no
Ooh.
idea what it
Because
is.
they came through a link from somebody's YouTube channel because then it said the person was live and they went through that, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's
So this
That's how I
goes back
found out
to,
about
to
Twitch.
monitoring what your kid is doing. Are you watching? If you don't want your kid having access to something, are you watching to make sure that they don't have access to it, or are you trusting your kid to not go looking for it?
But when you say access, you're talking the internet in general? Because to my
Yes.
example, okay, because in my example, the parent doesn't know what Twitch is. So
No, it's all of the internet. Like I feel
Okay.
like the older generation isn't as adept at the internet as we are, right? But like as a 25-year-old, I know my kid has access to the internet, and I know the internet has access to so much.
Mm-hmm.
So I monitor what she does online to make sure that she doesn't have access to the things that I don't want her to have
Right.
access to.
So you would
wonder
find
what
out
my
what
old
you're
girl-
saying. You would find out about Twitch because you're watching what she's doing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's the way to do it. I agree
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, but if you see her watching Fortnite at one point, and then the next thing you know, it's, you know, some sexy dude like me, you know,
Does
Well,
she-
it-
Hits
you
that-
have to be watching
What if she
the
hits
whole
that Rule
time.
34 Fortnite?
It's consistent monitoring. It's not like a one and done. You don't like it's the internet. Like think new things are introduced to the internet every single day. So like you everything's changing and evolving and like upgrading, and like you can't just watch once and be like, oh well, she's watching a video game and then never check on it again. If you don't want your kid to have access to these types of things, then it is up to you as a parent to make sure that they don't.
You're
I mean, they're
taking the risk.
crafty. I
why
mean, I
not?
knew what
Yeah.
alt tab was in the 90s,
Yeah.
you know, so shit.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
There's
Let me
just
just hide
there's
that.
different
Oh,
ways you can
someone-
monitor. You're talking about being a sneaky child. You're not talking about being
But the
like
fact that they have access to that and they're being exposed to that through Twitch, when realistically it shouldn't be an issue on Twitch.
Twitch is changing. And I would argue to those people who are uncomfortable with the way that Twitch is changing to not be on Twitch. It's going to make more changes. It's going to continue to change. They're going to be implementing new terms of service over time. Rules are going to change. Streamers are going to come and go. It's ever changing. It's
They barely consistently enforce their terms of service as it is.
yes,
you know.
that is an entirely separate issue. I do believe that they are not consistent with the way that they enforce their terms of
Before we go on that, it's a mix of a bunch of things because there's a lot of stuff that doesn't get reported as well. And that's a big part of it. And there's what I think I found out there was over 5 million different streamers a day on Twitch. So you're asking a group of a couple thousand people that may not even be fully monitoring, that are like, I don't know how many Twitch employees now, but I'd like to think it's in the thousands. A section of those people that are not, you report me every day and I'm still here. Fuck you.
well, what I'm saying,
But,
like, and my argument to that would be that, like, if you see what Amaranth is doing, right? And this is just
She's
an
a
example.
saint. She's a saint.
This is just an example. I promise you, she gets reported at least 20 times during any given stream. She gets reported in mass. Okay. And then you take a smaller streamer, okay, who's not well known, who's doing the same thing, who gets reported by like 2 people, is going to get in trouble for it.
We don't know if it was, but you don't, hold on. You don't know if it was 2 people that just reported the one, unless you were one of the 2, or you have 2 accounts.
There was recently.
Did you report from 2 accounts on that person?
Listen, I'm just saying, like, this is an example of like miscarried justice, right?
Did they make an example?
She doesn't get in trouble for it.
Maybe.
There was a streamer. What's her name? She's the one with the really huge boobies. She's Asian.
She had 2 poggers.
She was banned, or she got a suspension for sexual content. But did she actually show anything?
No.
Was there like a slip?
But she was
dancing around,
shaking them with subs or follows or something. Is what I heard.
Oh,
like she was grabbing them and shit.
About. No, she got banned for having a popsicle.
Okay. It was like was it the way she was eating the popsicle? I'm sorry.
I didn't see it, but yes, she mentioned it that she got banned for the popsicle.
What for science?
Don't talk about other streamers.
You can find it.
Put it in Discord.
She's an affiliate though, right? She's not even a partner.
Yeah,
I don't know. I saw her on another podcast talking about it.
That one?
We're not knocking her. You're not talking bad on a person. We're
no. I'm not talking bad about her. I'm just saying that like the stuff that she does, she got in trouble for. And I remember there was one stream in particular where the other streamer, Amaranth, had a very her stream title was a sexual innuendo, and she never got in trouble for it.
Yeah. There's also a lot of money involved in somebody that big too.
Business, exactly.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. It's miscarried justice. It's them picking and choosing who they apply their rules to.
But
it's like in Las Vegas. If you're
they're just hate reporting her too. If there really is nothing going on, and she has covered up more, and she doesn't do anything else more. The only thing she's guilty of is showing cleavage at this point now. Like, she did get banned before, and she's changed up her content and whatever else. So like she's. I met her at the TwitchCon in 2016. She's a super sweet person. Like, I don't think they have any malicious intent, and the stuff that they do outside of Twitch is they don't even sell nudes, from my understanding. It's just lewds. So unless that's changed, but they have a Patreon that is very successful as well, and she's a cosplayer. So I don't.
Are you talking about Amaranth?
Yeah. Like, everything that she does on the site has been, to an extent, very productive. She's not the only one, and she won't be the last one.
So I'm not knocking what either of these girls are doing. This isn't the focus of my words, and if it came across that way, that's not how I intended it. Let me say that. What I am saying is that the rules are being applied in different ways for different streamers, because they're so vague, and they need to. I feel like that's part of what Kylie was touching on. They need to be more specific, and then they need to apply those equally across the entire platform, not just pick and choose. And I know they only catch it if it gets reported.
Yeah,
but
you're also asking for something black and white when the description is very gray. So it's not very like, you do this, yes, you're banned.
So like how many inches of boob can you show? You know,
almost
like how do you?
I mean, you can have you can body paint. You can be in a hot tub in a bikini.
That's true. Body paint and stuff.
But if you can show everything except for the very end of the boob, then how come I can't show shaft? Right.
You should write a letter.
Your wife's looking at you.
You need somebody partnered to ask, because they'll get back to you within 3 months.
So, yeah.
I'm not arguing for them to have looser or more constricting rules. I'm saying that they need to apply the rules the same across to everybody. And that a lot of the times people argue that the rules are too vague. There is a lot of discussion on Twitter and on Twitch about how vague the rules are, and about how they're being applied differently depending on who reviews the report, because they have a team and different people review them differently. And that I said different like 6 times, and it was very redundant. But like, if you have a team of 100 people, and people are being reported every day for millions of different reasons, like, one person who reviews this single report is going to look at it and be like, oh, well, this is this is bull hockey. Like there's no substance to this report whatsoever. And then the next person in the line can look at it and take it very seriously. Like my ex, I'm not going to name drop. He's indefinitely suspended from Twitch. And it's because of the things that he said. And what he said was, it was hate speech against women, right? And it was targeted harassment. So he's indefinitely suspended. And then there was another streamer who I'm also not going to give a name for, who came to my stream, had his entire community come to my stream, and they targeted me and were spewing hate speech and were harassing me. And I reported him and nothing got done. So like the people who review the applications are different. And I feel like the reason why they need more specific rules is because of that, because of how vague they are. They are literally interpreted differently on a person by person basis.
But Twitch is a mob rule mentality right now. Like the Dead Moth thing, which happened where the guy was like beating his wife on stream type thing. That scenario where he got unbanned, and then Twitch on Twitter went mob rule mentality and said they need to ban him. Then they banned him. So I think they're going through these cases like the situation I was in before with my work is we couldn't just escalate something to this because we knew that this person was an asshole and there was like 15 different scenarios that this guy did something. If the person never got warned, we still only had to send one warning, even though the guy, you know, ripped off eBay for like, you know, 15 different items and fees and stuff like that. Even though it was so each case is a case by case thing as well too. I don't think that you can apply one rule, especially for hate speech along the site and they already do, I think, monitor that way too much. But they've also, to your credit, have also, you know, when somebody had a 30-day ban, then it removed to a 3-day ban, and then the person was still doing the same stupid shit and whatnot. So people like that are just going to get banned again anyways. I think
somebody mentioned it, but I think that monetary angle plays a big role. You know, bigger streamers, I think they can get away with a little bit.
I heard that.
No, I agree with it.
Partnered.
It's not just partnered. If you're
No.
partnered
They're
and
whales.
you're not generating revenue, then they don't. It doesn't.
It's all
matter.
about money.
It is about money.
They're whales. So like in Las Vegas, right? If you're sitting at the blackjack table and you're just doing minimum bets here and there, if you do something stupid, you're going to get removed. But if you're putting down tons of cash, you can do a line of coke right there off of the thing, and nobody's going to say a thing.
Yep.
Now you laugh. That's not hyperbole. Like
No, I agree
all the
completely.
time.
Yeah. I think what he's saying is it applies to life in general.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You know,
Like-
if you're a whale, and it just like it happens in eBay. I've got a friend who's in a different department, and he's had to explain this to people, like, you know, hey, I know this sucks, you know, but you know, because they were complaining because they had removed some feedback or something,
in my mind,
and they were like, but they were complaining that they removed that.
You mean
Right,
there's-
exactly.
You mean there's
It's a
money
whale.
privilege? There's money privilege. There's no such
Well,
thing.
exactly.
Even like say I catch a 30-day ban. If I put in a ticket to Twitch to say, hey, I want to appeal this 30-day ban, I'll be lucky if they reply back to me in 60. My ban's going to be up by the time they reply back anyway. Whereas a bigger streamer, they have more of a direct connection. If they get a 30-day ban, they can appeal it. They might get it overturned in 24 hours.
Yeah, a
You know,
partner,
so even if
partner
it's
would
not
have-
just the money aspect, there's other ways that
It's-
can be gone about it. But that money aspect that got them their partner status, you know, kind of all ties in together, I think.
It's something that's existed for a long time, and it's not just Twitch. Celebrities get away with heinous crimes because they're celebrities and they have money. Like it's not just Twitch, it's everywhere. But it's still like
I don't agree that money is the main driving force behind it. The main reason being is because if you do the math of like somebody who has, you know, 500 subs, which some of these people only had about like 1,500 to maybe 2,000 subs, which is a lot, don't get me wrong, but there's affiliates. They'd much rather, you know, keep the affiliates at, you know, 500 and get rid of the one person, because now they have 4 streamers that can potentially grow up to 2,000 each. I don't think I think the churn of losing one streamer that has 1,000, because you're still going to have that money for that month. They're not going to refund those subs. You know what I mean? They don't refund that money. Plus, they even make the money back when it's banned or they perma ban them, because then they keep that money. They don't even pay out the streamer in some scenarios if it's a perma ban. So to say the money is a driving force, I don't think it's 100%. I just think it's not.
I don't think it's everything.
Yeah, I don't think it's. But I think the perception people think though is like that it's that. So because those viewers are going to go find someone else and they'll still support someone else and use their money.
Yeah, you said mob mentality earlier, and and I made the comparison with celebrities, and I feel like that's it in essence. It's partly money, but it's also partly like
who you
the
are.
mob mentality. There was a streamer who got a 30-day suspension, I think, because of a word that was heard to be a slur. And then his entire community uproared, and they were like, it's clearly not a slur. You guys.
Idiot.
Yeah. I heard idiot as well. But
The first time I heard it was
I know that one. I saw that.
instead of completely overturning and admitting their fault, they reduced it to 7 days. If they believed that he actually broke the terms of service, they shouldn't have reduced his time at all. Like, stand by your decision or admit you're wrong and take it away. But like,
they do that all over the place. NFL does it with somebody. They do the domestic abuse thing, and they get like a couple of game ban, and then all of a sudden a video comes out of it, and then they're banished.
Yeah,
it's all about the public's reaction and everything. And
it's kind of on that same.
You're
topic.
absolutely
If
right.
I got banned. I probably have no one that's going to take to Twitter and fight for my honor and be like,
Yeah.
oh, that dude, fuck him.
I got your back.
hashtag free
Free
follow
Steven.
Ferris.
Free Ferris. Yeah. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
to. But yeah.
That's just man.
Oh, somebody got food.
It's annoying.
Well,
I'm hungry. Who got food? Share,
Oh, he
please.
got In-N-Out.
In-N-Out.
You know why he got In-N-Out? Because he doesn't have Whataburger.
True.
Mm.
Very
I've never
true.
had
Facts.
Whataburger.
Facts.
I could have argued yesterday with this one streamer about what's better, Whataburger or In-N-Out. I would have sided for the In-N-Out just for the argument, but knowing Whataburger exists, plus there's P. Terry's in Texas that it's like In-N-Out.
It's just
you can
Austin.
I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah, it's just
That's
Austin.
just Austin.
Never heard of it either.
Sorry, but you can add bacon, so it's like In-N-Out, but you have bacon and avocado as an option. So it's like making In-N-Out better.
Right. In-N-Out doesn't have avocados.
Yeah. Or
I don't have anything. I'd rather have a McDouble than
Shut your pie mouth.
Then
without
get it
kicking.
out.
I'll just kick you, dude. I'll just kick you from remove them. I'm just kidding.
In-N-Out's trash.
I know. Whatever, dude. Stop. You hurt my feelings.
I'll just eat
Got stock.
now. He's-
Got stock in them.
So
I
like
don't.
since the genre of the podcast is about parenting, taking it back to the last topic that was brought up, I absolutely believe that if a parent has a problem with what their kid is watching, it is up to them to monitor it. It is not up to the content creators to alter their
I
content.
definitely agree with that. Like, it's up to the parent.
Yeah.
If they don't like it, they need to find an answer, not the platform, not the streamer. That
Yeah.
it's the parent's responsibility.
Ooh, so I saw something today. I was watching this thing back in the early 90s when Joseph Lieberman and whatever that other guy from North Dakota, they were getting all upset about Night Trap and Mortal Kombat. I'm way dating myself on this thing, but I remember it very much. And their whole thing, so they had Lincoln Howard Howard Lincoln? Lincoln Howard, that's his name. He was I think he still is the main lawyer for Nintendo. And, he came out there and was super pious about everything. And, he's all up there and, we would never have a game like Night Trap on the Nintendo platform. And we would never do anything. Night Trap came out on the Nintendo Switch just a few months ago. Just saying.
Night Trap, is that a fighting game? What is that? Never heard of it.
So at the time, it was the biggest and craziest thing. Are you familiar with an FMV game?
Mm.
No.
All right, you're gonna have to Google it because it's way too much. The game is horrible and it's nothing bad. Like, matter of fact, when it came and got re-released,
With a sports bra on the cover.
yeah, that's as racy as it gets.
Is this the game that's going to make me buy a Switch?
No,
No, Tetris
No.
99
It's-
might.
it wasn't even the game that would make you buy a Sega CD. Yeah, Tetris 99.
Well, I
though,
couldn't
for real,
afford a
man.
Sega CD
I
then.
want to get that.
Buy a Switch.
Yeah.
I want to switch.
All right.
Mario Maker 2 is
We're-
coming out. That's gonna
we're-
be pretty dope.
We're at our point where we get the 2 hours there. I normally usually like to open up with questions if the chat has anything, but normally do it earlier. But we can wrap up. If you guys got to get going doing your own thing, that's fine too. Got another 2 hours in the books for Used to Be Cool podcast. I really appreciate everyone being here. We're trying to raise money for St. Jude. I need to get your guys' email if you guys are trying to be a part of it, and I could just send you guys an invite if you guys want to. But we'll do that.
I
on
requested
stream.
one, so
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning last night when I was messaging
Okay.
you about it.
I'll get that squared away for you guys ASAP. And then yeah, we got a tip or a donation for that. I can't see the name because it's so small. on my screen
Manu.
right now, but yeah, Manu.
Manu
Yes.
F18.
FGI.
20 with the $20 donation to St. Jude. Really appreciate
On
that.
Beardley's board. He is on Beardley's board.
It is, dude. This is my boy.
Nice.
What do I got to do to get my name on that board?
Oh yeah, I was wondering.
B-Bucks. So the
And I hope
loyalty.
you wear yoga pants when you ride it, and I want it on the very bottom of the board.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Said
Beardly. Yeah, Beardly Bucks. So it's a Stream Elements loyalty program. You can buy your name on the board. Like basically, you're just you stay in the chat and accumulate points, and you get points for like subbing, following, donating, all that stuff. So yeah, I've had a lot of people in my chat be like, "You got to stick out your butt to do it, dude. You got to stick out your butt to write the name."
That's why it's behind you, and it goes
Yeah,
down.
Yeah.
booty
low. My name is
streamers,
very
booty streamers, and
bottom.
now booty streamers. Gosh, this site's going to hell, man.
We're beardy
Not
streamers.
bad.
Beardy streamer.
You're not mad?
I tried to make thigh streaming a thing. I'm not ashamed.
Try to make what?
We need more thigh appreciation on the internet.
Eye streaming.
I was
Yeah.
being
I-
I'm gonna
Yeah.
start streaming shaft streaming.
Like you don't even have to wear
Just
booty
shaft.
shorts. You
Ooh.
just shorts where you can see your legs. Like I'm not standing up because
Oh yeah,
but like
Nice.
mid-length shorts, right? Your ass is not hanging out. You're just wearing like shorts, and then you can
Mhm.
see like the thigh. Thigh appreciation it doesn't get enough love. That's all I'm saying. I don't do it anymore. I tried to make it a thing like years ago.
Most people I know are more ass men. I feel like thigh streaming would be just as popular as the top half.
It's not.
It's not.
Well, maybe underrepresented, but I'm meaning if more people were doing it, that it would be the new. We wouldn't say titty streamer anymore, or booby streamer. It would be, you know,
Well, I think
Thigh
the-
streamer?
streamer.
I don't know. I can't say it. Can I say thoughts on stream? Whatever. I did.
Well,
Too late.
it's actually it is a bad word. It's like it's I forget what the term is for the word, but it's like it's hate speech to call someone that word now. I don't use it. I'm not saying you using it can get you in trouble because I hear other streamers saying it all the time, but somebody might get mad at you and report you for it, and then that would be what you get
I
banned
am
for.
angry.
Damn it.
How dare you?
I know.
How
Whatever.
dare you?
I even said hard R. I guess apparently I have to get that out of my dictionary as well. 'Cause
I
said-
hear mixed things on if that word is out or not. I just tend to stay on the side of
I
being
think if
safe.
you're calling someone that is dumb, or is,
If
but
you're
you
using
say,
it in
like,
a
"Oh, this is-"
derogatory way.
Yeah.
but
Well, like,
it's
for
all
me, it's
I've never
derogatory.
said that word in my
Whether it
life.
is or isn't, if I catch a ban for it, I'm stuck. They won't reply
Yeah.
back to my ticket for like 60 days. So however long they ban me,
I've
I'm
said
waiting.
it a bunch of times. I even say
Which word are we talking about?
The R word.
Hard R
R
or
word.
the R
On
word?
on
The word
Twitch,
for
it is
like people who
considered
have
hate.
been vaccinated.
If
What's a
people
hard-
go into a girl streamer's chat and they
Artard.
call her the T word,
There you go.
they can get their account taken away for it. It is
Autistic.
considered hate speech to Twitch. It may not be considered hate
Yeah,
speech
I've heard
worldwide,
that.
societally, but in the community of Twitch, it is hate speech.
I still don't know what we're talking about, but okay.
THOT.
Oh, okay. I thought there's
I
no
think
R's
that's
in that.
And, the other one for you know,
There's no R's in that word.
Are you talking about
mentally
like
slow people.
rope but a different vowel?
No. I think I know what.
Whenever
I'm
I hear
confused.
hard R, I'm thinking it's the N word, but
Right.
A versus
No,
a hard
it's
R.
the word it's supposed to mean like
How long
mentally
it's taken to
challenged,
say-
right?
Oh, that one.
Oh,
But people are using it
Jesus
to
Christ.
describe like
Yeah.
dumb stuff.
I was
have
about to
catch
say, just
myself
to
saying that
clarify, I'm
too.
like, we can't say retarded.
Yeah.
what have you done?
He's like,
Banned.
Damn it.
Everyone turn your cam off. You don't want to be associated with this heathen.
May said it.
all right.
Oh, yeah.
Condoms and its banned words on Twitch.
We'll be doing this again next week, guys. Used to be cool podcast.
But you can talk about eating ass.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, dude. But
Hey, I don't make the rules.
No,
I don't
the-
make the rules,
the
man.
thing that also gets me
Better. Oh
fired up
God.
is just like they say the same thing that's TOS, but then they say, oh, in a video game or in GTA roleplay or something like that. I'm like, you're an
I just
idiot. They can
wanna
still
say
ban you
for
for that.
Eating ass is not. That doesn't. There's a word for it. I'm so bad.
Offend anybody?
Well, I don't want to say it doesn't offend anybody because there are
As long as you use baby wipes, you're okay, right?
very
Why
modest
would it
people.
offend anybody?
People who are modest might get upset at the
Gross, no.
conversation topic as a whole. But like when you talk about ass eating, you're not using it in a way that like is malicious, right? You're not talking about it maliciously. But if you
Then
use
you're not doing
the
it right.
okay.
Holy crap. Someone just donated $200? Holy
Oh,
crap.
Yipper.
$200. Dude, thank you so much for donating to St. Jude $200. Yippers.
You're making
Dude,
me need
thank
a
you,
diary
man.
for it.
Dude, that's so awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you got your topic for
Yipper
next
is
week.
the man.
Holy wow.
Dude, that's awesome.
Wait, why did Nightbot get timed out for St. Jude?
I don't know. 'Cause
Nightbot?
my Nightbot's retarded. It's a bot. You can say it. Yes, twice. I don't care. I'm bringing it back.
I was actually
I've said it a couple times.
more recently. I've been told that as long as you clarify that it's a joke and that it's not serious, then you can't get in trouble for it.
Context
But
should
don't quote
matter,
me on that.
But
Don't
So we
context
can
should
go like
matter.
You can go Ricky Bobby on this whole thing, like with all due respect, and I do mean all due respect. And then you do whatever you want.
I
Well,
don't
you
know
have
if
to
that's
believe
true.
that
That's
it
just something
matters,
that I've been
but-
told recently.
Just don't say
At
anything
the end
mean to
of the
May,
day-
guys. She will report you for hate speech. It's true.
No, I won't.
You know what? I like her.
Don't send
She's
your
a
entire
business
community to my stream to spew hate speech because if you do that, you will get reported. But you can tell
She said she's gonna snitch on her kids. Definitely don't.
shit to me right now if you want.
May's
Well,
a
look,
snitch,
listen,
guys. Don't do it.
I'm not responsible for your soul. I'm not responsible for your moral compass at all.
Oh,
If you want to say mean things to me right now, feel free. But like,
I'm
don't
kidding.
send your community after me because I will screenshot that shit and I will report you for it.
I know. I
So
know
somebody
you-
else
been
did it
warned.
too. Because you're at 250 now.
Well, yeah. So Manu did another 15, so that
Oh.
brought up to 50, and then Yippers just did the one
200.
for 200. So much love for you guys doing this. We're going to the end of the month with this. What's really cool is if you're streaming and you're raising the money for it, $500 gets you the purple Twitch hoodie, man. So that's a pretty obtainable goal, and it's a really cool thing. And I think if you do 2,500, they give you like a St. Jude like racing chair, like for a seat.
That's
stuff like that.
5,000.
Oh, 5,000. Okay.
Further gear.
So yeah. So it's pretty cool. They have really cool stuff. I think if you do like 50, it's like a hashtag refunded. Dang. But yeah, if they do 50, I think it's a shirt. So the St. Jude Play Live shirt looks actually pretty cool this year. They've gotten better.
So how
each
does
year,
it work
so.
if you're like if we were on the team together? Is it collective or how does that
So
work?
your individual
Pretty
total
sure.
will go towards the team one that I have set up here. And then so you'll have an individual one that'll tally your total to that. So if you do 500 on your own, that'll bring the team up to 750 type thing. If it were like right now.
And
Ferris,
guys,
can I
just-
make a recommendation?
Yeah.
If you reach your solo goal
Mhm.
of raising the money for St. Jude, you should do a cafe made cosplay.
Cafe made
stream.
cosplay? Like a
Yeah.
like a French made cosplay?
Like from
Have
anime.
you seen have you
it's
have
not
you
seen
seen me as a girl? You've seen that picture, haven't you? I mean,
Yeah. But I need you to wear some cute though. You need to wear like
I had
the little
boobies. I was
dress
a
and the little
booby streamer.
apron. No, you can get buttons up. You ain't gotta unbutton.
This is not pretty, guys. That's
Oh
this.
my god.
The Snapchat filter, dude.
That's exactly how mine looks. It just makes the entire chin blurred out. Like try to hide the beard. It doesn't really work.
That's quite a transformation
Speaking
there.
of,
Yeah.
I know.
Which filter is that? Because I can't find it, and I want to know what I look like as a dude.
It's on
My wife just did hers
It's on my premium
to make it look
Snapchat.
like a dude, and it came out and it looked like me.
I tried the new one. It just made my chin
is-
wider. It just gave me like a stronger chin.
So wait, which
Like-
filter is it? I really need to know because I don't know what it's called.
Here's
Snapchat.
one. Here's one where there was no filter, guys. It's not scary. And if you look at
Yeah,
the
that-
boobs,
that
I
needs a
use
filter.
balloons and I put the nipples out, so they're all pointing
Yeah.
the other ways. But I even have.
That's how you know
boobies
they're
out,
real.
So
I'll
can I
do
get the
that.
name of that filter though? I just asked like 3 times. I'm
It's
serious.
built into
If you
Snapchat.
guys-
I don't think there's a name. Swipe over left or right like twice.
Right.
You'll see it.
I don't. It's not on mine. I actually don't have it.
Let's do this right. Let's hammer this right now, so it's on video and stuff like that. I will not back down. Actually, normally I'm supposed to do Bean Boozled after we hit like a certain of them, so I'll eat some Bean Boozles and I'll put myself on big screen after this and whatever. But the let's say 2,500. I do glitter beard. Thank you for the cheer, Giovanni.
The glitter beard would be lit.
So I'll
Dude, don't do it.
once
It
we
gets
hit.
everywhere.
I know, but I'm gonna have to shave if I'm gonna do the sexy girl anyway. So it's gonna encourage that anyways. And
I didn't say
bearded lady.
sexy. I said cute.
I'm sexy.
Two
okay?
different things.
If I'm gonna dress up, I'm gonna be sexy on stream. Okay. I need to pimp myself out. That's
Okay.
We're just saying.
What?
I never said that. I do not condone this
All right,
behavior.
not pimping myself out, but I will premium Snapchat the crap that night. So 2,500. If the team hits 2,500, I will glitter beard my beard. Okay. 5,000. I'll do some weird cosplay where I'm some anime chick that May has to help me
Shaft
pick
stream.
out. And then shaft stream at 10,000 if we hit 10,000.
No, I said at 10,000, I will shave my beard. If we hit 10,000, I'm
If we hit 10,000.
beard.
Dude, I know people,
I
bro.
got ripped off. I shaved mine for free. I'm just growing it back.
So
Everybody
yeah.
got mad at me. But just know, guys, St. Jude, they're awesome.
It's me.
75% of St. Jude operates on donations alone.
yeah.
And they don't charge any parents anything. They pay for your travel, they pay for room and board, transportation, and you don't get a bill at the end. So it really is a good thing.
Yeah. My goal for this is to get you guys at a level where they invite you guys out to St. Jude for the summit. They invited 300 streamers a couple weeks ago, just at the end of April. So if you guys are a part of it, I want to get these people like a free trip to freaking Tennessee to go hang out with St. Jude and see some stuff with the hospital and other streamers that are part of it. It's a really, really cool event. I was invited to the very first one and I couldn't go because I worked at a job that hated kids with cancer. Home Depot. Fuck you guys. Yep, I'll blast them. I don't give a shit. There goes my Home Depot sponsorship, but whatever.
You don't want to be sponsored by them anyways. They hate
They
St.
hate
Jude.
kids. I straight up said that to my manager. I said, "Hey, I go, hey, I need this weekend off." And they're like, "Why?" I'm like, "Because it was during like spring break for Texas." And like, "No,
Yeah.
you just need for spring." I was like, "No, they're flying me out to Tennessee. Please let me go." And it's like, "For what?" It's like to go to St. Jude and hang out with kids. Like, so you're telling me you don't like kids with cancer? It's like, you're right. And it's like, so yeah, I no longer work there. But yeah,
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Fuck
So,
them.
yeah, and
You
fuck
sick
cancer.
kid haters.
And fuck cancer. Yeah, so you'll be seeing me more on stream as of lately because I'm an idiot and got fired for something stupid, but whatever. Share that on stream with you guys. So I'm an idiot, but I still have a job. I'm fine. I have plenty of stuff in savings to be able to do this and go hard for the kids. So yeah, just saying. Don't clip that. Did I say something stupid?
No,
And the pun in the chat. Read it.
Oh gosh. Making fun of Home Depot, that's not cool, dude. You've hit a new lows. Dang! Got him! That was good. That was good. That was good. What do you guys got going on this week? Do you guys want to do a quick little
The
shout
pun
out?
competition is going on in Austin like tomorrow.
Hey, another 50. Yep, there's another 300, dude.
Whoa!
Nice, dude.
Oh my
Gotta
gosh.
get that glitter ready.
Chef
yeah.
Street.
Sign up, dude. If you're
Glitter
doing-
beard.
Oh my gosh. Almost there.
Awesome, dude.
So next week, if you guys hit it, man, I'll have Glitterbeard during the Used to Be Cool podcast. It's gonna be awkward as shit, but whatever. It's gonna be messy.
I'll do one with you.
You'll do Glitterbeard.
I'll do a Glitterbeard. Yep.
It's a pain in the butt, and the beard is pretty thick, like it was when I had it. So it's gonna be very. At least
I'll have to go get glitter because I don't have it.
I don't think that's enough glitter, Andrew. I think you need more glitter.
Yeah, you need
Yeah,
more.
I gotta go. I went through like 3 of these for my glitter beard.
Yeah.
What's St. Jude's colors?
Purple.
Purple.
You got to get purple glitter then, dude.
I do have purple glitter.
I'm my hair purple. You know.
Didn't you see Didn't you see my beautiful glitter beard?
I didn't know you was hiding hair up there.
Whoa, I didn't see that coming at all.
Oh,
It's like a little secret.
no, Odell Beckham and Summer on this.
It's so thick. You have
guys-
thick hair.
You get a preview of what it'll look like. Just
Oh
so-
my
Get
goodness.
a Vikings beard.
Yeah.
You gotta tell me how to do that because I just kind of threw it in there.
So
Did you?
Glue. Use some super glue.
Yeah, super glue. Beard oil or water.
You won't
Water
regret
works,
it.
And then you
So, like-
want the smaller glitter, not the bigger chunk.
If you reach the goal to shave your beard too, right? You could do the glitter beard and then you could just shave it all off instead of having to wash it out.
I don't think that's how it works at all.
I don't think I'll do the collective 10,000. That's gonna be like a solo 10,000 thing, but I will shave on the stream, and my name would be useless, but it's worth it.
Mine will probably shave afterwards because it's just a minute easier to shave it than to just try and wash it out. I'll have glitter for forever.
200 IQ.
Oh my gosh, dude, this is nuts. I wasn't expecting that tonight. So I really,
That's
really appreciate it,
crazy.
man. Yeppers,
you guys.
you're the MVP.
You get that
guy.
hoodie now, Ferris.
Yes. I don't even know if I do because I set up the team. I don't even know how it is this way. I'm sure I will now, but whatever. We're going to get you guys hoodies. You get a hoodie. You get a hoodie. You get a. No,
I need a hoodie.
it's cool, man.
I don't. I live in Florida.
I have 2 of them.
Well, I'm in Vegas, but I mean, I get cold easy.
I stream in the garage.
I'm in Alabama. I don't need it either. It's so hot here.
Today I was
You
complaining
can't-
about being cold.
Yeah.
I don't even get to turn my AC on. So it's actually like 90 degrees in the house right now. It's very hot.
Yeah.
From
Oh,
AC
man.
around 60.
I have a little fan right here. This is my best friend.
Awesome.
I'm
I'm shocked right now. I didn't plan on going this long, but I really appreciate it, guys. Please follow the links that I sent you. Please follow all of them. Otherwise, I'll cry afterwards if you don't. Follow Kills.
Don't follow me. I'm not kid friendly.
May is a titty streamer. Don't follow her.
I'm not kid friendly.
She doesn't have a premium Snapchat yet, but she will probably after next month. I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Giovanni dies at GTA, so
Dude, Giovanni's role plays, GTA role plays have been pretty hilarious. I'm guessing April is the name of your character. Is that why you have it on? Okay, April.
She's a big old
no.
nerd.
I was watching part of it, and they were talking about doing some class or something like that, and then the scooter club. Is that what it was?
Take scooters up mountains and die terribly.
They're legit like scooter gang in GTA, and I was like, bro, that is not kid
We're
friendly.
hardcore.
I don't know if I can have her on the podcast anymore. It's not very
you got to see the skydiving clip.
Oh gosh.
No, you don't.
Beardly, are you liking the new Fortnite update? I'm actually kind of having fun.
I
with it.
am, dude.
It's pretty fun. So yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Habby, what you got going on, man? We're just gonna see you next week on here.
I would love to. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm new to this. I've streamed only video games. So I told you I wanted to start doing little podcasts and stuff. So thanks for the opportunity. And if you'll have me back, I'll be back for sure.
Yeah, man.
And it was nice meeting all you guys too. So
Yeah,
Thanks
sure.
for coming.
We need the occasional Canadian. So it's either Dash
what is that supposed to mean?
we're inclusive here is what we're trying to say.
You're not making fun of me because I'm Canadian, are
Yeah,
you?
we just know you're afraid of the
Canadian.
dark, and we don't want you to be alone.
Hey, I'll
Ferris
have you
hates
know.
Canadians. Confirmed. You heard it here first.
I'll have you know. Some of the biggest Twitch streamers are Canadian. You know that, right?
And then the other bigger streamers are all in Austin.
Oh shit.
That's true. That's so true.
No, just kidding.
We're very talented in Canada.
There are some really, really popular ones. Really, really big female streamers out of Canada,
Well,
actually.
Invader V is actually.
She doesn't count. But she's really nice to talk to from time to time. Have you guys had bagged milk? They used to have bagged milk for the high school because people were using the cartons to blow them up, and then they turned into water balloons. So it was like a lose-lose situation. You just made them more throwable.
I heard you guys, just quickly, do you guys have ketchup chips in the States?
No, that's all Canada.
Look at all your faces. You guys are looking
Ketchup
like
chips?
I've seen them.
I hate ketchup.
I've heard about this.
Don't diss it until you tried it.
That's like dipping your pizza in milk. It's not.
Ew!
American.
Why would you even say that out loud?
I was saying the same thing. What?
I'm just saying.
Those are completely different. Chips,
Are they though?
chips and ketchup, that's not bad. Okay? Milk and pizza?
I can see the connection at least because it is, potatoes, ketchup, French fries.
I definitely like to eat pizza and have a tall glass of milk to drink. I don't like dip it in there or anything.
Yeah.
But like, they definitely go
Someone
together.
took it out and said like,
You made me
ranch is
curious.
just
I'll
as
give you
bad.
that.
We'll try it. Are you going to TwitchCon? Bring him to TwitchCon. We'll have a party. We'll bust it out there.
Yeah.
I really
Thanks again. Appreciate it.
I really want to. I need to find out who's all going because if I'm able to, I want to submit a panel for the Used to Be Cool podcast to either do a live episode there, which I think would be really fun with the audience there, or a parenting panel. So let me know because that's also a really cool way where you guys can get a free pass to the event. So hopefully make the stuff a little bit more affordable for you guys too. So with that being said, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna end the stream. I hate doing the outros. I need to figure out what's the best way to do our outros now. What do you guys like doing?
I do the same thing Beardy's doing there.
All right.
Beardy.
Killer Steven, he's got an awesome sound.
I stole this from Killer Steven.
You guys are cheating. I don't have paper.
Wait, Giovanni, do it again. What did you have up there?
Jewel pods.
Jewel pods. I should just kick you now for that. I'm just kidding.
Hold on.
Yeah,
I got
fidget
paper.
spinner.
I don't have time for your crafts, May.
I got my Carmex.
Call everyone the R word and peace out. Later, guys. No.
Oh my god, he's got me beat. Shit. Oh, I only have one.
Mango
Damn
life.
it. And I'm almost out.
Fuck, I'm almost done. Hold on.
Are you doing your 24-hour stream
Who?
for St.
I'm
Jude?
using lipstick right now.
I'm not doing a 24-hour. You can kiss my ass with that. I'm too old for that shit.
I thought you were.
I was going to when they're out of town, but I was like, I can only do about like 8 hours each day, and that's what I tried doing. But yeah,
24 hours in a row.
24 hours straight, and I feel like it would be easier because there's
That's a
Uber Eats
young. That's a
now.
young man's game.
Yeah, I'm like, no, we're cool, dude. Like because there's.
Can I leave after I show this? Can I just bounce?
You're just gonna say fair sucks and leaves? Fine.
No,
Do it.
not
Just
that.
kidding.
You guys, if you don't follow this stream, you should just follow and sub. If you don't have Twitch, I mean, if you don't know what Twitch Prime is, connect it to your Amazon Prime account. Use that free Twitch Prime sub to sub to this account. I'm out.
Can't
Oh,
see
you
it.
can't
You can't see
see
it.
Really bad.
That's it. Bye, you guys.
Yeah.
You spelled it wrong. Don't go to Follow Ferris with 2 R's. Don't give him your Twitch Prime.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Thanks for the
Bye,
opportunity again.
guys.
Bye, guys.
Good night. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'm gonna end the stream. I don't know who.